online, we are raising money for Alzheimer's Founding. Links to donate can be found below the stream. We would also like to thank Kaspersky, Twitch, and ViewSonic for sponsoring this event. Now it is time for Pokemon Crystal, being run by both 360Chrism and Shenanigans, and I'm joined here by the commentators Etiquette and Pulse Effects. Take it away.
How's it going, everybody? So, like mentioned, we're doing a Crystal Randomizer Battleships. If you've ever played the board game Battleships, you guys are going to feel right at home. If you haven't, we'll explain it as we go. But we're not going to delay a little bit. We're not going to delay too much. Pulse, you want to see if the runners are ready?
Yep. Just pinging them right now.
All right.
Or they're distracted. All right, looks like they're good.
They're good? All right.
Yep.
Give us a countdown.
All right, starting up in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. So this is Crystal Randomizer Battleships. You'll notice for both runners, we've got the game feed as well as a Pokemon tracker. And on the Pokemon tracker, we have Pokemon that are marked in blue. The objective here is the two runners don't know what the other person has marked. Those blue marked Pokemon are their battleships. So the objective is to catch or receive as many Pokemon as they can to try and find the opponent's battleships. Every Pokemon they obtain is going to be either a hit or a miss, will be marked in either black or red. And then the first runner to sink the ships of the other person is the winner.
One, I guess, big thing to note as well is that the runners are only allowed, I think they said about 3 things that they like to call Ultra Trolls, which are basically Pokemon that don't evolve from Pokemon. Basically, they have like a single form, kind of like Snorlax, which Shen just marked. And apparently that was actually a hit immediately.
Yeah,
wow.
First hit on the starter. That's amazing.
That's amazing. I think me and Shen actually had something very similar happen in our race earlier. It was actually beyond hilarious. But yeah, each time they actually land on one, they're just going to mark it off as red. And they pretty much have like a lot of set information that they could kind of go for, depending on what they encounter. And pretty much after each time that they catch a Pokemon, they kind of have to just mark it off.
Yeah, and it looks like the first encounter they found here on Route 29 was another Snorlax. So even if he didn't start with it, he would have known it was here.
Yep.
And you can also see on Shen's side right now, Snorlax was just 1 off from his 5 ship. So definitely a pretty cool thing. Chris has no idea that that's the case. Obviously, it's just a miss, but he is pretty close. So this category or race, it's not really a category, is sort of a cross between like a normal randomizer where you're just trying to go as fast as possible and a catch-em-all where you're trying to catch as many things as possible. You're trying to gain as much information as possible. Because every trainer that you fight, you're going to gain the Pokedex entry for that Pokemon. And let's say, you know, Shen fights a trainer and gets the Dex entry for Sunkern. Now he knows where Sunkern is. Sunkern happens to be one of the Pokemon on the boat. So he'd be able to use that information, especially in the later portions of the race, to make sure that, you know, he's not just blindly looking on different routes to get as many Pokemon as possible. He's actually making informed decisions like that.
One other thing to note as well is that you'll notice that they're all in alphabetical order. This would be a little bit too easy if they did it in Dex order, because then they could basically just grab one Pokemon, evolve it, and just go down the line. Alphabetical order just kind of spices things up a little bit more.
Yeah, there are some Pokemon that are still in a, you know, rough Dex order, like thinking specifically of the Nidoking, Nidoqueen lines. All those Pokemon are pretty much grouped together. But for the most part, yeah, evolutionary lines are pretty spread out. I mean, you've got things like Bulbasaur is nowhere near Ivysaur, which is nowhere near Venusaur, so you could safely add all 3 of those to a boat without the risk of just evolving from one to the next.
So One thing to just sort of note as well is that they're actually using a thing called speed choice, which kind of lets this text scroll by extremely fast. You'll notice along the way. It actually eliminates so many different things, just based off of story mostly. Like you'll be skipping things like the rocket hideout that drag on for hours on end, and a lot of text. It's really nice and convenient.
Yeah, and another thing that they've actually so speed choice has those as options. It doesn't necessarily remove it by default, but another thing that they have is early Canto access. So they'll actually be able to access Canto as soon as they do the Lake of Rage section, where they go and catch or defeat the Red Gyarados, or in this game it will be something else, presumably. But yeah, after that point, they'll be able to immediately go to Professor Elm and get the SS ticket to make their way over to Canto. So the game really opens up. I think you only technically need 4 badges to make that happen. A lot of times you're going to get the 5th, which is Chuck's badge. That way you have access to use Fly. But you technically don't need to in order to get to Canto with this particular ROM setup. Another thing that's been done is encounter slots have been sort of balanced a little bit better. Every route in the grass is going to have 7 encounter slots. It's going to be a 30%, 20. I think it's 30, 20, 20, 10, 10, 10. That may have only been 6. Either way, there are 7, and it's broken down into like 30%, 20%, and 10%. Water is going to have 3 slots, so 70%, a 20%, and a 10%. And then different things like headbutt trees are going to be a little bit different. Fishing is going to be a bit different. Each rod is going to have its own encounter slots in each area. And then Rock Smash is another thing that we might see. Rock Smash has 2 encounters globally across the game, and those are 90% and 10%. So a lot of times you really don't want to be looking for those 10% encounters, but if you know something is on a particular route and you've seen the 6 other encounter slots, then you know you have to keep looking for it.
Looks like they got a sweet center as well, which makes it so that you can spawn encounters at will. Makes it really fast. A really good Zatu. Looks like Chrism is going up on the early route. Kind of scouting ahead.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of information you can get pretty early on. I know some people play these a little bit differently. For example, when I do these, I tend to fight a lot more trainers in the early game just to get as much information as I can. And that way, you know, I don't fall behind too much. I gain a little bit of extra experience, and I also have a ton more information once it gets to sort of like go mode, where you're trying to find as many things as possible. Some people, I know Shen at least used to, I don't know if he still does, will kind of blitz through the game to get to that sort of end point where he has access to the entire map and then goes hunting for things.
Very valid strategy, honestly. Just makes it so that you can kind of go back as fast as possible. Especially when you have access to Fly, you're just so open at that point, especially after just progressing so much.
All right, so while the runners are getting through the early game, what do you think of their ships, like their ship placement, the Pokemon they've got on there?
I especially like Shen's, just with the 2 ship, with Quillfish and Scyther in particular.
Yeah,
it seems pretty solid.
That's a really good one. I kind of like Chris has an interesting 2 ship as well. He's got Espeon and Execute. Execute wouldn't be too hard to get, but Espeon is a friendship evolution, which, you know, if you have to go out of your way to do that, can be kind of a nuisance. So it's not an Ultra Troll. It does have a way to evolve into it, but it's sort of like an Ultra Troll.
Yeah, one thing I'm also noticing is that it's actually really close to one of his other ships as well. So Shen might actually just end up being off the mark completely, just accidentally getting like Exeggutor or something.
Yeah, one of those things that's sort of like a gamble is, like, let's say Shen gets Execute and then evolves up into Exeggutor, finds out that it's not a hit. He might be sort of dissuaded to go for Farfetch'd, which is a hit on a different boat. So you sort of have like a little bit of mind games. You have to gamble a little bit because, I mean, if he gets Execute and then Farfetch'd and then evolves into Executor and finds it's not one, then now he knows for a fact it's 2 different ships. But it can be a way to sort of mess with your opponent.
One other thing that's sort of interesting to this as well is when you get something like a Master Ball, for example, you can actually just throw it out there, like save the game, throw it out there, catch the Pokemon, and then just soft reset, and it's like one of the fastest ways to actually just go through the game. But the unfortunate thing is you don't get like the actual dex entry, so that's kind of like high risk, high reward sort of play right there. Ooh, looks like you got a Mew as well.
And then one other thing to note about specifically the Pokemon that they had available to them, they're both playing, if you were observant, you may have noticed, Unknown is actually not on there. Unknown, this is a randomizer, so you would think Unknown is just available as a normal Pokemon, but you still have to go through the Ruins of Alph side quests, and it does sort of take a little bit of time. So sort of as like a gentleman's agreement, a lot of the times when we do these races, we just don't have Unknown. Unknown can spawn on random routes, and if you haven't done the Ruins of Alph stuff, it'll just be like you use Sweet Scent, and then it'll be like nothing happened. So even though they don't have access to catch Unknown, they still have the ability to know if Unknown is on a route by sort of getting no encounter once they use Sweet Scent.
It looks like Shen got another hit.
Oh man! Hey, it's the execute we were talking about.
Yeah. I wonder if he'll evolve it. It's going to be really interesting to see how this strategy evolves a little bit.
Exactly, yeah. If he evolves it and it's not one, maybe he's not going to go for Farfetch. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. This is usually where Chad kind of just says GG because he already has 2 this early, but you can't really count him out. This is Battleships or Yeet Yachts or Battle Boats. There's like 20 different names.
Crushing Crusaders.
Oh, you guys have been ridiculous with those namings, but I love them.
Yeah. Yeah, and definitely I mean we've all done this within our own communities, but if anybody has like interesting ideas when it comes to board games and the like with Pokemon randomizers, definitely let us know, because like we've done Battleships, we've done Guess Who, which is exactly like you'd imagine. Connect 4 has been done, so like we're sort of finding different ways to spice it up, and it's been a whole lot of fun. This was the first of those ventures into these sort of board game Pokemon randomizers, but there's a lot of ideas out there.
See a lot of people suggesting Monopoly. You might have to work this in.
We'll figure it out. So Shen over here catching a Corsola. Even though it's not a hit, Corsola is a good find just because it is one of those Ultra Trolls. So being able to weed that out. It looks like Chris, his 3 Ultra Trolls are Farfetch'd, Murkrow, and
Snorlax.
Snorlax. Oh yeah, that's right. Snorlax already got caught. And then Shen has was it Quillfish, Stantler, and
Jinx?
Celebi up at the top.
Celebi.
Jinx does have Smoochum, which I always forget
that's
about.
true. I always forget about that too, actually. Who do you think's going to win this?
I mean, early on, it looks like Shen, is in a better position, but at the same time, I mean, Chris has caught more Pokemon, so he has. I mean, it's only 3, but he still has a little bit more total information, so I really could go either way. I guess
a little too early to decide.
I think it's too early to decide, but I think I'm gonna pull for Chris.
I think I'll pull for Shen.
All right.
For this round. See, he's got those really, really solid like hits so far.
Yeah, getting that Snorlax is insane.
That's absolutely huge. It's just so unfortunate when it's just the starter Pokemon too, but he had no chance. He just got immediately shut out. Even if he had missed that, he would have just gotten the Snorlax later.
I just really quickly saw somebody mention what happens if chat spoils it because both of them are live. Don't do that. Is basically what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, both people are streaming, and when we do these races, we're always streaming. It's you know, it's based on honor system. There's really no benefit to winning, so there's really no point in cheating.
Yeah. Also, it looks like early Master Ball has been picked up, so these strategies might get really, really quick very, very soon. Let's see how they put these into play. Oh yeah. I don't know the exacts of the catch rate, but would you know how to explain that exactly?
Yes, so that's actually a good point. That's another change from the base game, and something that's actually an option in the randomizer as well. They've set minimum catch rate as high as possible, and what that means is every Pokemon is going to have the same catch rate, and it's all going to be the best catch rate. So what that means is at full health, using a Pokeball, every Pokemon is going to be a 1 in 3 chance to be caught. And once you get it down to 1/3 health, it becomes 100% chance to catch. So in the early game, you might see them trying to damage things a little bit to make the catch rate a little bit better. In the late game, they're probably going to be a little bit over leveled, assuming they don't have like a false swipe user that can damage it consistently. So you might see them doing a little bit more YOLO ball stuff. With them having a Master Ball, we actually may not see that as much, but it's always a possibility.
Definitely have to see. One other thing to note as well is eventually their box is going to be filled and they're going to have to like keep switching, but luckily we get a call from Bill every time. And that just kind of usually means you just go straight in, go fly back to a Pokemon Center, switch boxes, and then keep on going with the journey. It looks like Shen is going straight in on those gyms and just blitzing ahead. I think he's got a really good shot at this with that strategy.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, get as far into the game as possible, gain access to fly, and then you can just go anywhere you want. So, Sprout Tower is not required in this game. It is required in like Heart Gold, Soul Silver, but you can just bypass right past the Sprout Tower and go on. There are a few items. There's a few trainers. There's 2 floors worth of encounters. But the encounter rate is fairly low, so until you have somebody that can use Sweet Scent, it's usually not worth it to like look for encounters there. If you get encounters while you're making your way up the tower, sure, but actually looking for encounters this early is not very smart in Sprout Tower.
Did they mention the sort of free shot mechanics for him?
I don't think we mentioned it, but I can explain that if you want. So,
Here you go.
So to try and make these races a little bit more bearable, especially with the Ultra Trolls basically having no way to get them except for finding them in the wild, the racers both start the run with 1 free shot. So at any point, they can go ahead and just say, I'm guessing Jinx. And if Jinx is a hit on the other side, then it gets marked. If it's not, it gets marked as a miss. And then specifically for races like this, where we're trying to do it in, you know, a normal amount of time. We don't want these to go on forever. Marathon setting, all that jazz. They're actually going to be gaining free shots throughout the race, but not really until the very end. So at I think it's the 3 hour and 30 minute mark, they're going to get another free shot, and then every 15 minutes after that. Hopefully it doesn't go much more than that. Usually by that point in the run, you have like 1 or 2 Pokemon that you're really trying to find. You've figured out where all the boats are. You just have to find the specific Pokemon. So having those extra free shots should end the race pretty quickly.
Chrism is going to probably go for the Master Ball throw here. Ooh, immediate Raikou as well.
Very nice. Not a hit, but is a nice find.
Mm-hmm. Good information, even if it doesn't necessarily always equal a hit. Not too bad.
And while the 2 races are sort of, you know, doing their own thing, looks like Shen is trying to progress with the story, and Chris is just grinding out a few more encounters. If we have any donations or any other things to read, now would be probably a good time.
We do indeed. We got quite a few coming in here. We got a $50 donation from Anonymous with no message there. But we also have a $15 donation from Orange saying, have a great day. I hope we get to see this run. And they are, of course, referring to the Super Mario 64 bonus run, which will be 16-star by Simply. And a quick little update on that one right now. It is currently sitting at $4,641 out of 10,000. It seems a long way, but I bet if we put our minds to it, by the end of this run, we could get that up to 5,000, which will put us halfway there. And we've still got a good chunk of marathon left to go. So thank you both for your donations there.
All right, looks like Chris found an Ariados up there at the top of the screen. Another shot that was one off from the boat. It looks like he's getting awfully close. He's got 4 Pokemon that were one off from one of their boats, but didn't quite get there.
And that's the thing. They can't actually see each other's little grid. They just have to take a shot in the dark. Pretty much exactly like the regular battleship.
Yeah, and another thing that I just realized might be kind of confusing to people. So the 2 races are in their own call right now, so we don't have a mechanism to actually, like when I mark a Pokemon on my tracker, it doesn't mark it on his as a hit or anything like that. So they're calling out the shots between them. That's why you can see them talking. Another thing is they both have 2 versions of their Pokemon tracker. So one version is going to have their boats on it and the opponent's player's shots, and the other tracker is going to be their shots, and then if they have any hits, their hits as well. They're just switching tabs in a browser because this is all browser based.
Looks as though Prism actually has Stab on his Raikou and a lot of really good special moves. This is actually going to be pretty big for him. In particular, just because this Raikou is really, really busted. Having a nice special set is going to be really, really big for him. This Snorlax is really good too, though, for Shen.
Yeah, definitely. The low level of Raikou is a little bit concerning, but at the same time, these randomizers are done using an option called Black-White Experience Curve. So, as you heard probably throughout the Black-White run we had earlier in the marathon, as well as the 2 Sword and Shield runs, they introduced this sort of scaled experience formula where if you're a lower level, you gain higher experience than if you're a higher level. So it makes finding a Pokemon, even though he's trying to face level, 8 or 9 Pokemon with his level 4, he's going to be able to level up pretty quickly.
Like Shen's pulling out some fishing struts as well, finding a nice Kingdra. It might actually make a pretty good main if he decides to switch things up.
Yeah, it looks like he's at least going to consider it, moving it to the front there.
Not too bad of a move pull either. Yeah, it looks like he's definitely switching up. A scope lens on top of that too. Not bad.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how when you think about like a normal Pokemon speedrun and you think of the held items that are used in those, you're typically using those type boosting items, things like a soft sand, or Shen just picked up a miracle seed. In randomizers, you're really trying to focus on items that are really going to help you do like either the most damage or help you in other ways. So items like leftovers that are going to help you heal over time, or like an amulet coin that's going to give you more money. Scope lens is nice just because I believe scope lens is the one that increases critical hit chance.
Yep.
Yeah, so he always has the potential to do a little bit more damage. Equipping something like a miracle seed, even if you have a grass move, just isn't going to pay out in the long run for something like a randomizer where we're not doing damage calcs, so we don't know if we need that extra 10% boost. Oh, he pick up headbutt?
Yeah, it looks like it. That's gonna be really good for encounters later.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice find.
Shen's gonna head straight on out into the second gym pretty soon. I think another
Yeah.
thing to note as well on some of these encounter slots is just how many there actually are in some of these caves. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, one of the things it'll definitely come into play once they start, dexing the location of Pokemon, is there are some areas that it seemingly is like every Pokemon is there. Things like Tin Tower, Ice Path, Mount Mortar. These are areas that have, multiple floors, and a lot of them have multiple floors with water. So instead of having 7 per floor, they have 10 encounter slots per floor, and then, it just gets pretty hectic. So Union Cave is actually one of those. You only have access to the first floor the first time you go there, but there are actually a couple floors there with water. So there's a bunch of encounter slots. And then I guess this is a good point to sort of show off the different play styles. Like I mentioned, Shen is one who likes to blitz through the game, and Chris is sort of doing a more methodical, checking every route for at least a couple of encounter slots. Maybe fighting some extra trainers. I haven't really noticed if he has fought any extra ones, but always a possibility. So it may look like Shen is so much further ahead, but I mean, Chris has also caught more Pokemon, so he has a little bit more information, even if he doesn't have any hits yet.
He's not doing too bad of a job either on progression.
That Croconaw just sandwiching the Crobat there on Shen's boat.
That's so close. That's insane.
If he gets to execute, I don't even know. This is going to be a Meryl catch as well, which Meryl's right next to that boat.
Oh my god. He's been inching towards this so much. I feel really bad for Chrism right now.
Let's see, is Machoke on the card? Nah, that's not there.
Nah. Looks like Shen found the right. Wait. No, that's a... Wait, I think that's a trainer?
Might be a trainer, yeah.
This is being very, very smart with his Master Ball use as well. Just kind of use it on some of these less likely encounters.
Yeah, and also an encounter that you wouldn't necessarily want to keep. Like if you were to catch a level, I don't know, 18 Bulbasaur, you might want to keep that to level up one level to get Ivysaur. But something that's level 4, like a level 4 Umbreon, there's no point in keeping that. So
yeah, definitely not.
Something that I don't think came into play early on, and early on is really the only time it really would, is sometimes you might see a runner, even though they have Pokeballs, they'll run away from a catch that they don't have yet. And it might be because they have that Pokemon and don't want to reveal the location. So, for example, if 5 minutes into the race, Shen finds a Dragonite, he might opt to not catch it, to not reveal that Dragonite is on that route, because Dragonite is one of his hits, and then we'll go back there later because he'll have that information. Now that they're sort of a little bit more spread out, you usually try not to reveal where you are in the voice call to prevent things like, metagaming. But we didn't really see that, but that is another strategy that you could always see.
Mm-hmm. All about these mind games with battleships.
It really is. I think myself and Kizaron have done a bunch of these. I think we've done like between 10 and 15, and I want to say the first 9 of them we both picked Steelix as one of the Pokemon, and it became a thing that we would both pick Steelix because there's no way he'd expect us to pick Steelix again, and every time. And like everyone has a different play style too. Like if you ever play against Keys, he won't ever put a Pokemon on the edge. Like he won't have a boat that's on an edge. But as you can see, both Chris and Shen have a couple of boats on edges, and it's funny to see how different people play.
I remember for me specifically, I would pick Pokemon that sort of related to Shen stream, so I would pick like Tauros or Kadabra just to play some mind games with him. It did it back to me as well with Oddish, so.
Oh, Oddish. Looks like Shen's having a bit of problems here with this Lapras.
Yeah.
Oh, he's getting swaggered.
Evil.
What's happening? Yeah.
Ooh. Does he have a Bitterberry? I thought he had a Bitterberry.
I think he might have used it already. I think he got swaggered twice on that fight.
I think he just got swaggered a third time.
Oh my god.
The Chrism found the Kingdra as well. This thing seems like a really good main so far. Really solid move pool. Sometimes you'll just pick a Pokemon for the move pool itself as well.
Yeah, I mean, I know it came with Flame Wheel. He taught it Aeroblast just now. Definitely a decent move pool. And Kingdra itself is a pretty powerful Pokemon. I think it has one weakness in Dragon. So, you know, on the defensive side, it's going to take a couple of hits. So that's always nice. One thing to note about like how strong these Pokemon are. So Generation 2 has an interesting mechanic where because they added Pokemon genders, but they also wanted the Pokemon to be sort of backwards compatible with Generation 1. The way that they implemented genders were a Pokemon that had lower attack DVs were female, and if it had a higher attack DV, it would be male, depending on the ratio of male to female. So, for example, the starters are 1 and 8 to be female, so 0 or 1 DV attack was female, and then 2 to 15 is female, or is male. Shen's Kingdra here is female, so there's the potential that it doesn't have very good attack. Usually that's never like a reason not to run something. It's just something you always have in the back of your mind as maybe my attack isn't as good as it could be.
Although with all these swaggers, I think he's just gonna keep skyrocketing back up.
Yeah, no kidding.
Looks like every person in this gym though has a different Pokemon, so Shen's gonna get a lot of information once he's out of this gym.
Yeah, definitely. The way the randomizer is done, it's guaranteed that every Pokemon is going to be in, I think it's 2 locations in the wild. And I believe every Pokemon is also going to be on at least 1 trainer. That one might not be true, but I think that's the case. And one thing you'll notice is Shen didn't fight everybody in the gym. He only fought the 1 person required to get there, or the 2 people required to get there. Those trainers are no longer faceable. So if he ever needs information later on and is just going around fighting random trainers, he could never face those trainers again. So one thing that I know like I'll do is I might skip trainers on various routes because I can always go back there. But for gyms specifically, I will go and actually fight every trainer in the gym unless I have all the information that I need.
Because information is extremely valuable for some of these mind games you're going to be playing on each other.
Shen getting blasted with swagger. He just got attracted.
Getting all the statuses. I think he needs to grab a few more.
I was going to say, speaking of attract, we have a Miltank on the other side.
Oh, no. That's always bad news.
Oh. Double-edged Clefable KOing the
that thing
King.
hurts. Jeez.
Yeah. There's just something funny about Snorlax with Mach Punch.
It's so slow. It's so slow. Domain doesn't seem to be doing too bad for Shen. But man, Chrism's getting a lot of Pokemon.
Absolutely.
Shen's now in the forest, so he's probably going to power through a lot of different encounters while he's here.
Yeah, Chris finding a Pichu. If that was evolved into a Pikachu, it would be a hit, but Pichu is not.
Oh, so close, though. So close.
I know.
That's definitely a commitment too. If he ever wants to actually go and evolve the Pichu into a Pikachu, since it's like a friendship evolution, you got to go basically through arm's length to actually get that to work. It's really dumb.
Yeah, exactly. But just looking at the amount of Pokemon like caught between the two, you can sort of see at the bottom corner, like on Chris's side right now, it says total 11. That means Shen has shot 11 shots toward him. And you can't see it right now because they switched tabs, but Chris has actually shot close. I think it was 30 shots. So
yeah,
even though he has no hits, he's way further in information. It's actually pretty crazy.
It's actually a really insane play style. You got to be very patient for this one.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I love blasting forward when it comes to these things. But I feel like I struggle so much to have to go back. I have no information.
I have a really hard time like getting all the information I need without Sweet Scent. Like, I understand it's possible, just get encounters. I just like, I don't find that fun. I actually don't mind sitting there and grinding Sweet Scent over and over in the same area. But if I have to like walk around or something, I just don't like it. So I'll typically blitz through areas until I get Sweet Scent and then start doing it more methodically.
I never seem to find a Sweet Center though, personally.
No.
I don't know what it is about it.
Yeah, there is a free TM for Sweet Scent. That TM is basically one of the only things that isn't randomized in the game. So right outside of Ilex Forest, there's one of the guards in the guardhouse is going to be able to give them Sweet Scent TM. So if they already have Sweet Scent, they may opt to skip it, but you might want to grab it anyways, just in case. Yeah, it's this lady right here. Just in case you want it.
I actually didn't even know this, actually. This would have helped a lot earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, that and the guy who teaches Headbutt, or gives you the Headbutt TM, still gives you Headbutt as well. So.
It'll be creeping up on the daycare. So here's one actual cool thing about the daycare. He'll give you a free egg. And if that egg happens to be shiny, are they doing the rules where they do a sort of a bomb with shiny?
Yeah. So if either of them encounter a shiny, either being the odd egg or like a full odds shiny, for example, it'll actually count as a bomb. And the way that they represent that is a plus sign around the Pokemon. So, for example, if let's say Bulbasaur was shiny, then they would also get credit for Ampharos, Blissey, Butterfree, and Cleffa. Doesn't happen very often, but it always can.
I actually, earlier, I actually managed to land 2 with a bomb, so I was, ooh, good information.
That's nice, yeah.
Looks like I'll be coming up very soon as well on the Game Corner prizes. Cool thing is they're actually randomized as well, and they're just kind of free Pokemon sitting around. So you do have to pay a price, obviously.
Right. So Shen checking the TMs there. Doesn't look like anything too amazing. One of the things you're really hoping for is either something like Super Fang or False Swipe here, just because it gives you an ability to damage Pokemon without actually KOing them. Because at this point, you know, his Kingdra is level 18, but the wild encounters that he's going to be facing are going to be like level 10. So even if you're using a move that isn't super effective, there's a decent chance that you're just going to KO it in one hit with your main. So you either have to bring along like a lackey that's going to do a little bit of damage, or you know, or just sort of YOLO ball. It looks like the two runners might be having a bit of technical issue, so they're going to be fixing that. It looks like they might be all set. Yeah, all right. Very cool. Not sure exactly what happened there. Shen mentioned his computer froze up, so I think it looks like he got dropped from the Discord call and everything. But looks like they're back in it.
So coming up here as well, we're gonna be getting a free encounter. Normally it would be Spearow, but it's called Kenya, and it is also randomized. So that's just another free shot that they can go for. I think you get there's about 3 total that you can go for throughout the entirety of the map, and they're all just nice gift Pokemon.
Yeah, there's a few. Keys and I actually play with a rule that you have to catch the Pokemon. So you don't actually fire a shot until you throw the Pokeball. So we'll still get things like Kenya, or there's like a Shuckle on Cyanwood. But we can really only use that for information. We then have to actually, go find the Pokemon and catch it. It's a little thing we do. It makes it a bit longer, so.
Makes it a little spicier.
Yeah, definitely.
Though I don't think they'll be going for that rule.
No, definitely not. And they really shouldn't when it comes to like a marathon. It
definitely not. Yeah. Like Shen's just biking off now, riding to the gym. This isn't actually looking too bad. I think he's just gonna go straight into Spinner. Is he going to Spinner Hell now?
Yes.
I think he would go this fast, probably triggering the lady that gives the sprinkling can. Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like Chris finally has a hit. 37 shots in, he finally gets a hit. That's pretty crazy. Like, so there's 250 Pokemon they can choose from, and they have a 2-ship, 2 3-ships, a 4-ship, and a 5-ship. So let me do some quick math using Google. It looks like there's like a 7% chance that any like one random shot is a hit, which means on average you're gonna have a hit every 14 to 15 shots. And Chris was at 37 before he got his first hit, so that shows you a little bit of the luckiness, or I guess unluckiness, for our racers here. But based on those misses, actually, Chris has a little bit of potentially good information. So he knows that the muck ship, if it's a sideways ship, has to be the 2-ship. It would be Muck and Murkrow. If it's up and down, then he doesn't really know anything. But if it is sideways, he knows that is, a 2-ship, so he can sort of play around that. As you can see by looking at Shen's side of the screen, it's not the 2-ship, it's not horizontal, so like actually using that information and making decisions off of that might not be the best idea, but it's going to be something that's in his mind. If he sees a Murkrow on a trainer, he might instantly look at the dex to see where it is, to see if it's somewhere easily, accessible. We'll just have to wait and see.
Christian's powering through quite a few of these with these park balls as well. It's not looking too bad for him.
Yeah, the bug catching contest is an interesting one because there is actually, so there's the bug catching contest, and then there is just the national park has its own encounter slots. They are different encounter slots, so he's going to be seeing different Pokemon here than he would if he wasn't in the bug catching contest. It's definitely worth spending a little bit of time to do that. It's also the items that are being picked up here are different as well. If he picks them up here, they're not available outside of the bug catching contest, but you can at least see what they are.
Actually, didn't know that. It's interesting.
Yeah, like the TM you get can be different.
It looks like he's doing the cut the grass strategy. A lot of people don't actually know that's even a feature. It's hilarious. It's actually used to save a little bit of time, apparently, on average, so We'll
Yeah.
just cut the grass very casually.
All right.
How far is Chrism right now? Is he getting past the second gym now?
It looks like he's in Slowpoke Well, so he's just about to enter the second gym.
Just powering through all these encounter slots. I really love the difference in playstyle. This just shows off like the advantages of each one.
Yeah, and I mean, like, even though he's, you know, obviously blitzing, like, Shen was using repels in Ilex Forest. He cut the grass instead of just risking it to gain an encounter. So, like, you can definitely see, even though he could be gaining information, he's opting to just blitz through. Because he knows that once he has the map open to him, he'll be able to go anywhere he has to go. So even if he has to backtrack a little bit, it's not going to be too bad. And with Sweet Scent and everything, it's going to just be faster for him to do that. I also don't know if he has the Master Ball. I know Chris has it because he's been using the reset strategy, but I haven't seen Shen actually use the Master Ball yet, so I don't know if he actually has it.
He does. I saw him pick it up first.
Yeah, because finding that Master Ball early is something that can change your playstyle. Like, even though he might be, you know, wanting to blitz, maybe I check this area for encounters while I'm here. But it looks like he's not changing, so does get the Electrode, which is not a hit, it looks like.
I wonder if he's just waiting on some of these Ultra Trolls to show up, potentially. Although he's not saving, so he might just be saving those for like an Ultra Blitz at some point or another, just to go straight in on a lot of these encounters. Once he reaches like Fly or something, go backwards.
Right, right. All right, so looks like both of our races are going to be taking on gyms, so any sort of donations or other announcements to read would be good here.
Perfect time in there. We got a $38 donation from Sheep G saying, "Hello again. When I donated yesterday with a joke, I crashed the stream. Let's see if it happens again. How do you know if a joke is a dad joke? It's a parent." Oh. It's a great joke, but my god, no. Thankfully, it didn't crash the stream, so we're great there. We also got a $52 donation from Strad saying, "Restoring balance to the world." And that's in reference to the fact that that donation did put us up to $42,069. And then we had a $38 anonymous donation coming in, putting us up to $42,099. So if we want to get back to that good old meme, the next target we need to hit is $42,690, right? That's the plan. But of course, all those donations were put towards the Super Mario 64 16-star bonus run. That is our last big donation incentive we've got right now. And with all those donations, that does put us at $5,006.93 out of 10,000. We've still got about another 4 runs and the rest of this amazing Pokemon Crystal Randomizers Battleships going on here. I believe we can definitely hit that. I mean, how about we start a $5 donation train with what your favorite Pokemon on the list that you can see here is on your tracker, or who you think's going to win and why? Who knows? Remember, all your donations are going to Alzheimer's Fondant. It's an absolutely fantastic cause here, and we're glad you've been enjoying our event.
Yeah,
Perfect timing as well.
Yeah. That joke that was mentioned in the donation, it wasn't obviously the reason it crashed the stream, but the stream died right before the punchline. It was like, how do you know a joke is a dad joke? And then the stream cut. So it was actually pretty funny.
That's hilarious.
I was kind of hoping there that we could read it out just before the incident with shenanigans there, and we're like, not again! But it didn't quite this time.
Right. All right, so looks like Shen finished up the Whitney fight there, and is finding Stantler. Stantler is one of those Ultra Trolls. It's actually one of his Ultra Trolls, so he's gonna catch it. Chris may not know exactly where he is, so it's fine to sort of reveal that information. It's not a hit on his side, but if Chris gets there and catches that as well, that'll definitely be a hit, and that's a good hit to find.
Also, looks like it may have crashed me instead of the stream because
No.
I accidentally dropped out for a second there.
Good to have you back.
It's been a while. How's it been?
Oh, it's good.
Looks like he's going for Sudowoodo now. This could be literally anything. Nice Pidgeot.
Yeah, Sudowoodo's a nice one because, like I mentioned, all the encounters here are like level 10. I think they may go up to like level 14 or so, but the Sudowoodo is always level 20. So a lot of times, if you're struggling to damage things without killing them, catching the Sudowoodo and using that as your main like Pokemon catcher can definitely be useful.
I'm wondering if he'll.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, I'm wondering if Shen may potentially plan out a roamer encounter coming up here.
Yeah, that's always a possibility. There's also one of the options in the randomizer is like easy Tin Tower. So you actually gain access to Tin Tower really early. You don't have to do like find both of the roamers, fight Usain, and all that kind of stuff. You just sort of have access to Tin Tower. And at the bottom is what's normally the Suicune catch. But obviously that'll be randomized. So that's another way to get a nice high level Pokemon.
And I think from what I know about it as well is when you actually activate the roamers, apparently if you escape rope or dig out, you could actually have a 25% chance to get one of them.
Oh.
So I'm wondering if he'll actually use those strategies or not. That high level Pokemon's very, very good for this point in the game. This will be like level 40 and he'll be able to blitz even more if he actually gets it. But I guess it also depends on the Pokemon. So we'll see.
Yeah, during the roamer cutscene, you do hear the cries, and if you've played the game a lot or just happen to know the Pokemon cries, you can sort of figure out what those roamers are. I'm always really bad at it, but some people, like 100% accurate, can just tell based on those 3 cries what the 3 Pokemon are, so they may be able to make some guesses.
They all sound the same to me, except Jinx. That's a little different.
Well, some of them it'll be like, dude, and it's like, is that a Jigglypuff or a Sunflora or Clefairy? I don't know what this is. It doesn't sound strong, whatever it is.
That's a whole mood right there.
Oh, speaking of mood, we got Chris just got Spinarak as a hit on Shen, so he's found the 5 boat and the 4 boat. Still has 2 other boats to find, as does Shen, but Shen might be in a little bit better position just because he's already found the 2 boat. The 2 boat can be pretty hard to find. Once you find it, it's easy to sink, obviously, but actually finding it is pretty tough.
I guess we'll see if he actually eventually figures that out, though. Might be a bit, though.
So Shen now having access to Surf. Surf on Kingdra is very strong.
Oh, yeah.
He opted to teach over Headbutt, which you might think, sort of makes him unable to like use Headbutt on trees or anything like that to gain Pokemon, but he never actually got Headbutt from the basement of Union Cave, not from the guy who gives you Headbutt. So you can always go back there. Also, once you get the Headbutt TM from the guy in Ilex Forest, it becomes available in the Goldenrod shop as well. So you basically never lock yourself out of Headbutt. I think you can lock yourself out of Rock Smash, but not Headbutt.
And Rock Smash is it a TM in this game?
It is, yeah.
Oh man, that can make for some spicy plays too. Accidentally teaching over it. Also, it looks like Shen is dropping a little bit. Looks like we're back in order though.
Looks good to me, yeah. Does gain access to the Murkrow information, so
Ooh.
I don't know if he's going to necessarily look for it now. Again, Murkrow is Oh wait, no. Chris is the one who needs the Murkrow information. Murkrow is actually a hit on Chris's side. I'm getting all sorts of confused here.
It's hard to like the battles end up blending between each other, so I definitely get it.
So
But
Chris
good
is the one
info.
that Chris is the one that wants the Murkrow info, but it's not going to help him. Shen actually needs the Murkrow info because it is a hit, but he doesn't know that it's a hit yet. So that's the situation. We figured it out.
Might be pretty big. But I don't see Shen necessarily like going out of his way just yet because he does not have enough information as of yet.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I definitely expect him. He's doing the roamers here, which is a required thing. Actually, let's be quiet and see if we can figure out what these are. I have no idea. I tried to
Hypno Sunkern? I'm pretty sure that's a Sunkern. Because I tried to encounter so many of those early on in me and Shen's game.
Yeah. The only cry I know, funny enough, is Sunflora, because we've Keys and I were making fun of it for being the Meep Meep Pokemon.
So it looks like we got a Ditto encounter. This is actually pretty big because you can actually use this Ditto for breeding later on. Not only that, but it's also a Ultra Troll as well. So good information overall.
Yeah, breeding is, you don't really want to breed. It does take a while, but at the same time, if it's like the only Pokemon you have left is, let's say an Oddish, and you have a Gloom, and you don't have Oddish information, you could always just resort to breeding.
Very valuable, especially like I said with a Ditto. Ditto can basically breed basically anything. Otherwise, you would have to have a female counterpart of the Pokemon to produce the actual offspring of what you would want. So let's say, for example, you saw like a Squirtle and you really wanted like a Squirtle encounter to be a girl. It's a lot less likely to find one.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it's still the same in this generation as well for the gender ratio for starters, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so it would be super rare. Speaking of Bloom.
Yeah. Funny enough. Not a hit, but definitely still good information. 46 shots now for Chris. Taking out almost a 20% of the board.
Unfortunate that he actually is not listening to this right now because the breeding strat would actually be really, really good for him since Oddish is actually a hit.
Look at that.
He's going straight into the gym. This gym gives you access to using Surf, I'm pretty sure, or is that...
Yes. Yep.
So he could actually go straight for the Lake of Rage after this and just get a ton of information by forcibly grabbing the shiny.
Yeah, definitely. And then, like we mentioned, because of the early Canto access and the Rocket Hideout skip, once you do Lake of Rage, you basically have access to the entire map. You do have to sort of progress through the Canto region, so you can't like... I can't make it to Pewter City, for example, without doing the radio tower or the radio card sequence with the power plant, machine part, all that stuff, to get past the Snorlax. But you don't really have to beat the Elite Four. You don't have to go to Blackthorn and beat Claire. So it's really nice. The one area that is sort of off limits, and if they are dexing for a Pokemon and see it only in this area, it's actually really sad, is Mount Silver. Mount Silver does require you to, I believe you have to beat all 8 Kanto gyms and the Elite Four in order to gain access to it. So normally Pokemon don't only spawn in Mount Silver, but if they do, it can be a real big headache.
Yeah, some of the other headache areas that I've personally experienced is Whirl Islands and Tin Tower. Because Whirl Islands especially, it's stupidly dark. And if you didn't go and grab Flash, it's just awful.
Yeah, it's not just dark, it's also just annoying that you have to like surf between the different islands to get to the different rooms, because each like entranceway is its own encounter table, and some of them have access to other areas and some of them don't. So you sort of have to. It's a heavy commitment to go to Whirl Islands, to say the least.
Absolutely. A lot of encounter slots though, so it's not too bad. Looks like Chrism's stocking up on quite a bit of X attacks. I think he's going to start blitzing a little bit more as time goes on.
Yeah, for sure. This is the. I don't think it's the first area you can get X items, but I think might be the first area you can gain all of the X items. So, definitely something he wants to do. You also notice he sold just now some of like the evolutionary stones. You might think that's a little bit, irresponsible, but you can actually buy evolutionary stones in Goldenrod Mart as well, because of the randomizer. That was one of the changes that was made. Normally, to get stones, you have to like rely on rematches and all that kind of stuff. But just for quality of life reasons, for races like this, the stones were added there.
Actually, didn't know that either.
Yeah.
I wish I'd known about a lot of these things earlier.
Just because we're about an hour in now, and people may have joined, I guess we should explain the concept again. So, this is Pokemon Crystal Randomizer Battleships. Basically, both racers have a Pokemon tracker where they've marked down 5 battleships, just like the board game. So, a 2-ship, 2 3-ships, a 4-ship, and a 5-ship. And the objective is to catch Pokemon to take shots at the opponent. Every Pokemon they catch is either going to be a hit or a miss, which you're going to see marked on the board. Blue Pokemon are the ships, red Pokemon are hits, and black Pokemon are misses.
And just another like small thing, they actually can't see each other's board, otherwise this would be really, really easy.
Yes.
Looks like Shen's going straight in after Fly. We'll be able to use that right after Chuck Chimp, so this will be pretty blitzy coming up here.
So it looks like Chris found a Squirtle here in National Park, the bug catching contest. Squirtle is the hit, and he knows it has a decent chance of being one just because it is right next to the Spinnerack, which was a hit. And now it looks like... yeah, he marked it as a hit, so he now knows the direction of that boat. One other thing that is worth noting, I don't know if they explicitly have that rule. It wasn't stated to me, but I know we usually play with it. A lot of times we play such that boats can't touch. So because of that, he knows that the Spinnerack and the Squirtle are the same boat. And he knows that things like Skarmory, Skiploom, Tauros, and Teddiursa cannot be a hit, because otherwise they would be adjacent to this boat. So, like I said, it wasn't explicitly told to me that they were playing that way, but we typically do, so he might actually have that information.
I'm pretty sure they're definitely playing that way. I think, was it when it was me versus Shen, he like very specifically stated that. That's
Okay,
definitely a rule. Very curious on the still very curious on the mind games of the execute split between the Farfetch. That's gonna be really interesting coming to play very soon, probably.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing I just noticed actually on Chris's side is he has that Seeking over there that's like marked all around with misses. So he knows for a fact Seeking can't be a hit, so he has no reason to catch a Seeking. So you can, a lot of times you can do little things like that. Like, it looks like they're probably not marking things that are definitely not hits. But if he was, he'd probably have Seeking marked off, and then once they find the 2-ship, they know that any other space that can only be a 2-ship can't be a ship, and so like there ends up being a lot of process of elimination. You might be like overwhelmed by the fact that there's 250 total spots. But in reality, you can typically finish this with only about like 80 catches or so.
That's actually one interesting fact as well, is that the rows, based off of usually the layout that you're playing on, so specifically for ESA's layout, they have a really, really long vertical layout, and that can definitely affect things in sometimes a wild, wild way. It just really makes the order so different compared to like maybe like a wide one instead. It's gonna be, this might be spicier as time goes on for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Like we'll typically try to play with like as square of a layout as possible, but it's definitely interesting to see this one. We see like even on Shen's side, whether or not he meant to do it, he has mostly vertical ships. He has that one ship that's horizontal. I don't remember exactly what Chris's layout looks like, but my guess is he has something similar where there's a little bit of a bias toward vertical ships. So whether or not the two of them pick up on that is going to be one thing, but definitely something that might come into play.
Hard to say though. I typically just throw in the dark. Kind of works sometimes.
Yeah, one of the things that so we mentioned earlier, they're playing with the board in alphabetical order to sort of break up evolutionary lines. I mean, some of the evolutionary lines are going to be stuck together. Things like Omni, Omastar, they're next to each other alphabetically, so they're going to be next to each other. We've tried playing with like random orders, and it makes ship placement really cool because you can do a lot of really cool things. But then actually trying to find those Pokemon, because there's 250 slots, it's like, all right, I just caught a Tentacool. Where the heck is Tentacool? Bob Chow, who is the person who sort of made the Pokemon tracker, actually implemented a search function recently. So you may notice occasionally, I've seen Shen do it a couple of times, where a lot of Pokemon will get grayed out, and then he'll end up marking one of the Pokemon that's not grayed out. It's because he's using that new search function. Makes using unorthodox orders of Pokemon trackers a little bit nicer. But yeah, Keys and I did it was an Uber randomizer, so everything was randomized, Pokemon types and powers of moves and all that stuff.
Oh god.
We did that with the random order Pokedex. It took like 6.5 hours. It was ridiculous.
Oh god.
Half that time was, where's Graveler on the card?
Did you guys have the search function while that was going on?
Nope.
Oh god.
Nope.
That sounds awful.
It was after that we made the decision. It was like, we're only going to be doing alphabetical now until a search function gets added. We haven't actually done one of these since the search function got added, but yeah.
Might be time to change that up soon.
Yeah. So Shen has now defeated Chuck, the 5th gym leader, and because of that, he has access now to the HM Fly. He can use Fly outside of battle. He's gonna get Fly here. And now he most likely will be going back to Ecruteak and making his way over to the Lake of Rage. Once he does the Lake of Rage, he's going to get one of those, the shiny in the water, and make his way probably towards Canto. I don't know if he goes directly to Canto or not. But at that point, he'll have the entire map open to him, so it'll be interesting to see.
He's going the Goldenrod first, though.
Might be doing some shopping, maybe? Or maybe he's getting the radio card. That way he can actually make his way through Canto.
Oh, there's the bike shop.
Always comes at really inopportune times.
Right. Remember the... What?
I guess he's grabbing the coin case.
I think he wants to scout that out a little bit. It's not bad information. Especially if you're like really close to another ship. Nice Lugia too.
Good information. Won't actually help him, but good information. It's always one of those, like, it's like almost bittersweet when you find an Ultra Troll like that ends up not helping you. It's like, well, I'm glad I'm not stuck on it, but it also didn't help me.
It's always unfortunate, but like I said, good information still. One-notch troll is always a really good one. I guess it depends. Nice level ball too. Those are really, really good for when you just want to like chunk a ball at a low level Pokemon. That increased chance at catching. Not too bad.
Yeah, it especially early on, level ball is effectively like a master ball. It's pretty great. So he's gonna look here. Moltres, Pikachu, Noctowl.
Ooh.
So Pikachu helps Chris. What about the others?
Moltres.
Moltres is a no, and Noctowl's a no as well. So only one thing that actually helps them, and it helps Chris. So we'll see.
This will be very, very interesting. So Chrism never got that information yet either.
Not yet.
Really grinding out those encounters though.
And
It
you
looks
can
like
see Shen just bought those evolutionary stones. So one thing that we mentioned, if you're doing the Master Ball resetting strat, you're catching a Pokemon and then resetting it away. So like, what if you caught something like Gloom that could evolve into Vileplume or into Bellossom, and Gloom's not a hit, but maybe Vileplume is. He bought a few evolutionary stones. My guess is so he can actually catch a Pokemon with the Master Ball, evolve it, get 2 decks, like 2 catches, 2 shots on Chris's ships, and then reset it. If he would have to fly back to Goldenrod every time he caught something with an evolutionary stone, it would just be very slow. So,
any guesses on the shiny?
Yeah.
I'm gonna call Gyarados.
You're gonna call Gyarados. Okay.
Yep.
Alright, same odds as everything else. I'm gonna guess Jolteon. Don't know why. Seadra. Shen not really liking the looks of that, most likely because Seadra looks like it's right next to the Scyther. So if Chris catches this, it's an instant hit on his 2-ship. But yeah.
Looks like you didn't get too much though. It looks like it is a full square.
It's a full square, and it looks like he's actually going to get 2 hits there. Chris had Chris holding up the sign in front of the camera. So Seadra and Thinking are both hits. So that's actually really good for Shen, finding that 3-ship. And he knows it has to be a 3-ship with Seal having to be 1.
Oh, that's huge.
That's huge.
Wow. Oh, that's a big, big lead. Speaking of big leads, I think we might have a couple of donations waiting.
We do indeed. We got a $30 donation from Dev Insanity saying, I can't help but feel that joke was punishment for something. Yes, so's this one. They're both terrible. Please keep them coming. We love your bad jokes. And earlier we mentioned the favorite Pokemon. We got a $5 donation from Glampharos, who says Caesar is my favorite Pokemon. And then also we got a $20 donation from Datagani saying, Hiya, so glad to see Chris and Shen in this race at a marathon run. I just hope that Shen finally remembers to mark that Kadabra. And we also got a $10 anonymous donation with no message. And finally, a $20 donation from a Raging Piplup saying, I'm not sure what's going on, but take my money anyway. And again, thank you very much, everybody, for your donations. Just want to remind you as well, we do have 2 prizes still going on throughout the marathon here, all the way until the very end. We got a ViewSonic XG270 monitor from ViewSonic. That is a minimum $30 donation. And we have a Nintendo Switch donated to us by Kaspersky. That is a $50 minimum donation. If you get any donations in between now and the end of the marathon, you will be entered in for a chance to win these.
It looks like Shen is now officially going straight into Canto. Everybody in chat can definitely bop over to the beautiful themes of the SS Aqua. I love this theme so much.
Yeah, so he's making his way over there. There's one mandatory fight. There are a few other fights you can do, but typically just going to skip those. And yeah, one of the really nice things about making it to Canto is you can see the level difference here. The game doesn't expect you to go straight from the Lake of Rage to Canto, so there is quite a bit of a level bump. And the Pokemon he's going to be facing are going to be in the level 30s, and actually right outside the boat, in the port, there's some water encounters. You can also get Pokemon that are like level 30 to 36 there. So, I mean, he seems pretty content with his Kingdra, but there's always the chance of a main switch if he really wants to.
Time will tell. Very curious how he's going to be going through some of these routes, though. Maybe he'll catch the Snorlax encounter.
Yeah, the Snorlax, I think, is like level 50, too, so that's a really nice one to get.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mind if I jump in again real quickly?
Go for it.
Yeah, just want to give you all a quick update as well on the Super Mario 64 16-star bonus run. That's going to come up after the 70-star randomizer by Simply. We need to hit that goal, and we're currently at $5,081.93 out of $10,000. It sounds like a lot, but honestly, I think we could definitely hit 6, maybe 7,000 by the end of this run, and we've still got a good 4-5 hours before that is due. And again, with all the prizes up for grabs as well, I'm fairly sure there's a few people who would love to get a Nintendo Switch or a wonderful ViewSonic monitor out of this. Again, do please keep your donations coming in. They are all going to the Alzheimer's Fonden charity there. They are raising money. National Swedish fundraising organization who are raising money about Alzheimer's and other dementia-related diseases. Again, thank you everybody for your donations. Please keep them coming in.
Seems to be a weird running theme in this race specifically, but I'm seeing a lot of the horsey line right now.
I know.
This is kind of insane. So it looks like Shen is opting to grab the Vulpix and evolve it, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah, so it's a free 2 Pokemon. Evolves into Ninetales here. Ninetales isn't going to help him very much, but at least getting that information is nice.
Covering more nice spots on the board. How many encounter slots are in this place exactly? You said 6, I think?
So there are 3 in the water. But one of the interesting things about the port specifically is the port has different encounter slots than Vermilion City. So Vermilion City as a whole has 6 slots. And then also that port has different encounter slots than the port in Olivine. So in Olivine, he could get 3 different encounters as well. So it's one of those like sort of niche areas. Sometimes people skip past it, sometimes they don't. But it can definitely be helpful. It's one of those nice little stopping points right when you get to Canto, so you can sort of like collect yourself and come up with a plan for how exactly you're going to progress through here. So yeah.
I'm learning so much today. I think I'm going to be ready for my next game.
Yeah, and the other thing I'll mention, since he's catching a Haunter here, trade evolutions are set to be level 37, I believe. So you can evolve by getting to level 37, unless it is a trade evolution that requires an item, in which case it's a level 30 evolution, I think. So something like Scyther getting evolved to Scizor is going to be a level 30 evolution, but something like Haunter going to Gengar is a level 37 one.
I think this is probably why I lost to Shen earlier. I knew literally none of this. It looks like he's definitely going to be evolving this and probably resetting as well, just for a little bit of information. Not bad strategy at all.
Yeah, he does have a rare candy here, so treating it sort of like an evolutionary stone, you know? I can just quickly evolve, get the information I need, reset, and now I have my rare candy back.
How far is Chrism right now? I've been paying a lot of attention to Shen. I think Chrism might be sneaking in.
Yeah, I believe he fought the rival already in Burnt Tower. He's now just getting some encounter slots, and then he's going to make his way toward Morty. Let's see, Hitmontop is not a hit.
Not bad information, though. Is the bomb useful for Chrism at all? I don't think it is it?
It will give him actually Scyther. So because it was the Seedra was the shiny, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it gives them Seaking, Smeargle, Scyther, and Raichu. So Scyther is going to be a hit, which is nice. Specifically because that's Shen's 2-ship.
Yeah. Wait, that would capture the 2-ship completely. If you got the Seedra.
Yeah, so it looks like they actually changed it. Shen had marked like a full circle around the shiny at first, but if you look over at Chris's side, he only has the plus marked. So I think that was just a disconnect between them.
Oh, okay.
Right, so Chris making his way through here again. He is sort of behind story and plot wise, but does have quite a few more catches. Looks like Shen's at 32 total shots taken, while Chris is up here at 60. So not as one-sided as it looks.
I got yeeted out again.
That's quite all right.
It looks like Shen is going in on these encounters, getting really unlucky. I can just see the remarks on his face, being very, very mad at these encounter slots because there's only 3 of them. He's getting only 1. Very unlucky.
Water is pretty brutal. Water is 3 encounter slots, but one of them is a 70% chance, with the other 2 being 20, or it's either 70-20-10 or 60-30-10. Either way, one of them is significantly more likely to appear than the other 2, so you can definitely get stuck there if you're trying to clear out the encounter slots.
That's brutal. Shen's grabbing the Nidoran male. I don't think, though, that they chose any of the Nidorans just because it's so easy to just fill up those slots sequentially.
Yep, exactly.
You get access to the Suicune out here, right? I'm pretty sure. If you were to like do the little side quest, I think.
I think so, yeah. Okay, so looks like Shen going for Diglett here. Not a hit.
Not too bad scouting next to the Ditto, though. That is an ultra troll. Ooh, Espeon.
Ooh. Wait, which one of them?
Isn't that a ship? Oh.
That's the 2-ship. He sunk the 2-ship.
Oh, wow.
That's our first sinking, ladies and gentlemen.
That is wild. I'm really curious when he's gonna go for that Farfetch.
Well, so now he doesn't even know the whole gambit with the execute to executor and then the Farfetch'd afterward no longer applies because he knows that ship is sunk. So execute can't be one. He doesn't know anything about the Farfetch'd area, so I mean, he might think maybe there's not enough room in that area. You can sort of... It doesn't really apply yet in Shen's case, but if you look at Chrism's board, when that shows up again, you can sort of start making assumptions like, okay, this area I had a ton of misses, so maybe there isn't anything in that area. Shen's not quite in that position. Like, he might be able to figure that out in the bottom right. Bottom right where like Steelix and Victory Bell and all that is. Like, it's kind of congested there. There's not a ton of space. There's still room for a boat, but maybe sort of the left side of the screen and sort of the middle is more likely. Again, it's a little bit too early to like say, even if I see a Togepi, I'm not going to catch it. Like, that's way too early to say that. But you start sort of thinking about that at this point.
A lot of different mind games, especially because it's the late game. It's where things can go so many different directions. Really curious on the strategy right now, so.
Which strategy are you talking about?
Just if maybe what Prism's gonna do to sort of catch up a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, like, one of the nice things is the only reason he has really, I mean, I'm assuming he's completely done each route. That may not be the case. Like, he may have done like 5 encounter slots per route. But because he's been clearing them out as he goes, if he gets a, dex entry that he, like, let's say he's looking for that Pikachu that we were talking about earlier, that's a hit on Shen's side. Mm-hmm. Looking for that Pikachu, does the dex entry and sees it's on Route 30, but he's already looked at all the encounter slots in the grass on Route 30, then he knows it has to be in the water. Where with Shen sort of blitzing through, if he looks up Pupitar and it's on Route 30, he doesn't know if it's grass or water because he hasn't actually cleared out that route. So it sort of helps Chris a little bit when it comes to backtracking because he has a little bit less backtracking to actually do. And it doesn't look like he's not really, succumbing to the pressure. He's not thinking, all right, I've fallen way behind, let me just start blitzing. He's still methodically going from route to route, checking all of the encounter slots, which seems to be working out for him. He does have 3 hits, 2 different boats, but he has a lot of the rest of the board sort of filled in terms of misses, so he has a lot of information in that regard.
He's like about 20 catches ahead, which is pretty huge. Shen's getting those lucky hits. Let's have to see how this game goes.
Oh, Chris getting another hit there on, I think that's Spearow.
Ooh.
So now he knows because that wasn't a sink that he's found either the 4 or the 5 ship there. So he knows that he needs at least 1 or 2 on the other sides, whether it be Stantler and Snubble, which is what it actually is, or maybe Stantler and Starmie, depending on what he's thinking.
So the method's definitely paying off. It's very slow and methodical.
Chris over here checking the in-game trades. The in-game trades are also going to be randomized. So the Pokemon that you give in the trade, as well as the Pokemon that you receive in the trade, are going to be randomized. So sometimes the in-game trades might give you the good information, and sometimes they're just completely useless. But it's always worth checking them just to make sure, if it's something I need, or if it's an Ultra Troll, it's good to have that information. All right, so while the 2 runners are sort of progressing through here, if we have any donations or other things to read, now's probably a really good time.
We do. We got a $50 donation from Anonymous, and we also got another $50 donation from Unopened Closure. Both of them with no comments there, but putting it towards the 16-star run by Simply. And just to give you a quick update on that, after I do a quick refresh here, we are sitting at $5,181.93. I love the fact that the 93 cents is still there. But that is slowly going up there. You guys are all doing a fantastic job pushing that through. And I hope you're all enjoying ESA here. Do please keep the donations coming in.
All right. So Chris over here finding Rapidash. Rapidash is one of those, like, if it was a hit, it's really nice because it tells him that Poliwrath also has to be a hit just because of the location of the Rapidash as well as some of the misses he already has around him. It wasn't a hit, so it didn't actually come into play, but could have been really nice for him.
Seeing a lot of crazy fast catches. Just because he has so much area that he can just go in, cover, get out, and just keep moving forward. It's anyone's game at this point.
He had another one that was right next to that Jinx boat.
He's inching close. Yeah, right? I've seen that happen so many times between these games, though. It's probably going to happen. I think we'll see a visit to Whirl Island or Tin Tower.
I think definitely Tin Tower. Tin Tower is a place I actually don't mind doing Tin Tower that much. I hope for everyone's sake we don't see Whirl.
Well, we definitely won't see it because nobody grabbed Flash at all.
That is true, yeah. Oh, this is the Magneton. Oh, wait, that's right. Yeah, he already had the Magneton information. I was gonna say that's right next to that Magnemite up to Jinx boat.
Oh, he's getting so close.
I know.
I wanna see him hit it. Not for anything fancy. Another Ammonite. Was this the gift Pokemon?
The gift Pokemon where?
Where was it? Olivine. I think I saw there was a gift Pokemon in Olivine.
No, it was a trade.
Trade. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't remember what the trade was. I think Clefairy was on one end of it. But it didn't seem terribly useful, so. Chris finding Sudowoodo, another one of those Ultra Trolls. It's kind of interesting to think, like, people who play a lot of later generation Pokemon, when they do these, like, thinking about the Ultra Trolls, because Sudowoodo now wouldn't be an Ultra Troll because of Bonsly. But in Generation 2 it is, so you sort of have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's the same case for Wobbuffet as well. Because why not does not exist. They're having to switch up boxes a little bit here in a minute. That nasty call from Bill. I seriously hate the box system in this game. It's really bad.
Yeah, it's really easy to just forget about it, and then you'll be in the middle of an area that's like hard to get to. Like you'll be deep in Mount Mortar or like 3 floors up in Tin Tower, and then Bill will call you, and you're like, no. But one of the nice things about the Master Ball resetting strat is you fill your boxes a lot less quickly, just because you're like resetting a lot of the Pokemon that you're catching, so you never end up actually filling the box.
That's true. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it still does come into play. Dude, this Ursaring has extreme speed. It's unbeatable.
That's broken.
Oh my god, it does almost have.
That's ridiculous. Jesus. He still didn't kill it.
What? Kill it. Oh my god. Oh, that did exactly half.
Wow, that's really scary.
Okay.
That must have been a high roll.
Well, I think the Ursaring also used all of the extreme speed PP. Trainer and wild Pokemon PP exists in Generation 2. It didn't in Gen 1. So in Gen 1, I mean, extreme speed doesn't exist in Gen 1, but if it did, that Ursaring could just keep spamming it, and with it doing basically half, that's just asking to die. But he actually did use up all of his extreme speeds there, so he had to switch away.
That move combination is just absolutely wild, though, with the power of like a stab Ursaring. That's ridiculous.
So Chris finding Zapdos there. I think this is on a trainer. Yeah. So he's not going to catch it, but he does get the information. Zapdos also being like any of the legendaries, one of those Pokemon that doesn't evolve into anything or from anything. So
I doubt any of them would have ever gone for these bottom corners. Zubat's just kind of trapped
there. Yeah. So Shen finding Dunsparce, being a miss. He's getting kind of close to that boat up there in the corner, but not quite hitting it.
A little bit. Getting a little trolled by these counter slots, though. Looks like Prism's creeping up a little bit. About to get Fly for the first time. He'll probably be shuffling through a million different routes at once.
Yeah, I was gonna say once Chris gets Fly, heads over to the Lake of Rage, does that sequence, they're gonna be roughly even when it comes to, like, Shen will have made more progress, but now they're both in the same position in terms of like have access to all the same areas, and they're just both sort of in go mode. Not quite go mode because they don't know where all the boats are, but you know, they're both gonna be doing roughly the same thing. So.
Looks like Shen's getting a real grasp of like where most of these boats are, though. He only needs 2 more from the other boats, and he'll probably have a pretty good idea of like what he should be going for and shouldn't be going for. May end up starting to run away from some of these.
Yep. So Shen quickly checking there's actually an in-game trade over there on the route. I think it's like Route 14. Checking that really quickly. Doesn't seem useful to him right now. I think it was a trade for a Lickitung, and Lickitung is one of those Ultra Trolls, so could be useful for him, but I don't think... where is Lickitung? No, Lickitung does not actually help him. He doesn't know that yet, but...
Looks like Shen found that Quillfish that he's trying to hide.
Oh, interesting.
Not a bad piece of information, though. It is an Ultra Troll, after all.
Yeah. I don't know if we'll see them do it, but something I'll occasionally do is if I come across something like that Quillfish, where it's an Ultra Troll of mine that, you know, I'm hoping Chris doesn't actually find, I'll, like, before I reset it away, I'll quickly check the dex entry for it and just see where else it is. For example, if it's only here on Route 14, maybe Chris doesn't come over here. You know, it's sort of out of the way. It's not really necessary to progress through Canto, so there's a decent chance he might just skip the area altogether, hoping that he can find everything everywhere else. But, I mean, if the Quillfish is only here, then that's some good info.
Yeah, pretty big brain play so far.
So it looks like Shen's going to do some quick dexing, see what information he has.
Oh, actually, one interesting little feature with Speed Choice is you don't have to go through actually flying over to the Pokemon League just to access between Kanto and Johto. You can actually just flip the map back and forth. It's really, really nice. Super convenient.
I forgot that wasn't in the main game.
Really?
Yeah. I just take that for granted, yeah.
It's so awful. I wonder if he's going for the coin case now?
doing coin case. Actually, wait, did he just?
Oh, I thought he went to Goldenrod. Oh, Tin Tower.
Tin Tower. We're seeing it.
This will be interesting because every single floor on Tin Tower. Oh, here comes the egg hatch, by the way.
All right, let's see.
Ledian.
Ledian. That is a miss.
I'm gonna say that it's not bad information, but
So
not as shiny.
Depending on which egg that was, I think that was the egg given by Oak rather than the odd egg, which means Chris is going to have that as well. Also doesn't help Chris, but it further adds a border around that Jinx to Magnemite boat.
Oh, it's so close. I want to see this broken really badly. Also, it looks like Chrism has access to the information of what the Game Corner prizes are. I don't think he's gonna go for them though.
Not yet. I think Pikachu was one of them, if I'm not mistaken, which is a Pokemon he needs. He doesn't necessarily know that he needs it yet. That's 2 away from that muck there in the middle of the screen. So he doesn't know if that's the 2 ship going over to Murkrow, or if it goes up, or if it goes down. He doesn't know any of that right now, so... sort of storing that information for later.
One interesting thing to note about these trainers in particular, if you happen to lose while you're in the middle of it, you can actually just come back and it'll be like a little bit progressed. So you can just kind of press forward if you just so happen to die after this big gauntlet. I only know that because I also died.
Chris is over here in Mount Mortar, getting a few encounter slots. Mount Mortar is an interesting one because in order to completely clear out Mount Mortar, you need access to Surf and Waterfall. You can't access, I think, one of the rooms without Waterfall. So he's probably going to do as much of it as he can. But in order to completely fill it out, he's actually going to have to go through Ice Path to Blackthorn, beat Claire, get Waterfall, and then come back here.
That's a ridiculous amount of stuff you got to do.
Oh,
then you also have to... oh, wait, you already said you have to beat Blackthorn.
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous. But I think the encounter slot method that he's doing now is working out just fine. I highly doubt he'd ever go back in with Waterfall because, again, that's huge time sink. Way crazy time sink.
Yeah, I mean, unless he, like, dexes something and has to go in there, he probably won't be coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So what exactly... Oh, yeah, Shen's still doing the entrance to the tower. That's right. I'm like, why is he fighting trainers?
Also, looks like Shen officially marked Kadabra, for sure.
Yep.
We'll finally get access to Tin Tower. I'm really curious what the Ho-Oh is actually going to be, because this is going to be completely random. There's no, like, legend for legend or anything like that.
Right, yeah. The Ho-Oh at the top will be level 60. The Suicune right here will be, I think it's level 40. So he could always switch to this. Looks like he's rechecking the cries of the Pokemon.
Pretty sure it's Sunkern, though. Pretty sure? Yeah, there it is. I called it right.
Is it? Oh
Yep.
my god. That's pretty funny. So Sunkern is a hit on Chris's side, yeah.
Oh.
So Shen uses Master Ball. I don't know if he saved.
Did he? Oh, no.
Well, so... Oh, he just reset, so... He did use... He's been using the Master Ball, so... They picked up a Master Ball somewhere, I forget where. But the normal Master Ball that you receive in the game, that you receive from Professor Elm, they both still have access to, because in order to get that, you have to... I think you just have to go and talk to Elm. It might be after you beat Claire, but either way, like, it's pretty accessible. So even if they happen to use their Master Ball in a situation where they can't reset, they have access to another one.
I'm curious why he reset and then went for the capture though. After again?
Know. Yeah, I don't know why he caught it again. But yeah.
Maybe he just wants the Pokemon levels or something. Maybe he also just kind of... Ooh, he's saving over the catch as well.
Right. I mean,
Really?
I can imagine Sunkern is a stone evolution, so you could get Sunflora information, but, I mean, like you said, he just saved over it, so...
Wait. He has another... Does he have another Master Ball?
He reset the Master Ball and then used a Moon Ball on the other one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't understand why he caught it again, period. Like, it's a Sunkern. Why catch it?
I think he has a Sunstone in the party, maybe? So he's getting that Hoot Hoot information as well.
Hoot Hoot Noctowl, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Prism over there has a Scizor. Running away,
Scissor's
though.
right next to the Scyther, which is a hit. Chris is getting awfully close to every boat.
just kind of touching it a little bit. Not quite getting there, though. Feel really bad for Chrism right now.
I know. Alright, so Sneasel over here. Sneasel's another one that is an Ultra Troll now, wouldn't normally be. Or is an Ultra Troll in Gen 2, wouldn't be now. With the addition of Weavile in Gen 4. But now might be a good time for a couple more donations or announcements. Do we have any?
Thank you. We got a $50 donation from Fibrid here, saying, super psyched, I get to tune in live to ESA and get to donate to an amazing cause. Go shenanigans. And I just want to remind you all that we are raising money here for the Alzheimer's Fonden. They are a Swedish national fundraising organization that are focusing on Alzheimer's disease and other dementia-related diseases. Their aim and purpose is to increase the fundraising to the benefit of scientific research in order to find a cure for Alzheimer's disease. They also are enabling training for caregivers on the subject of dementia, as well as organizing projects, camps, and events for youngsters affected in different ways due to their parents or other relatives who are diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Do please keep all your donations coming in. All donations that are received will be going to Alzheimer's Fonden. And don't forget as well, we do have 2 prizes from our sponsors. We have a ViewSonic Elite XG270 QG monitor from ViewSonic. That is a $30 minimum donation to be entered in for a chance to win that. And from Kaspersky, we have a Nintendo Switch that is sitting at a minimum $50 donation here. And don't forget, we have one final bid war, which is a Super Mario 64 16-star run by Simply. And if this is met, Simply will stick around for a little bit longer and show us this run after their 70-star randomizer. It is currently sitting at $5,231 out of 10,000 there. We are getting up there. We were back down at 4,000 around the time the run started. So if we can keep that going, we can definitely meet that over the course of the rest of this Pokemon run and the Super Mario block coming up.
So
Definitely believe we can reach that.
Oh, absolutely. So during that donation read, we actually had Chris finding Dragonite. So he's hit yet another boat.
Ooh.
Can't see it right now, but promise it happened. Chris also found the Farfetch'd, which doesn't help him, but would help Shen. So if Shen ever comes back here to check for encounters, he can always find that.
Do you remember what location it was at?
It looks like it's the route right below Lake of Rage.
Ooh.
So it's sort of like a... Yeah.
I wonder if he'll go back. Question it a lot, because he's right now he's just absolutely just demolishing these encounter slots here on Tin Tower. It's some pretty good information too. It's not bad at all.
Oh, he found the Tyrogue, and Tyrogue is actually going to sink that ship.
Oh wow. That is wild. Shen is just getting an absolutely demolishing league right now.
I mean, he still doesn't have... He has information on only 3 boats. And even with that, he knows for a fact the seal has to be on that boat down in the bottom right. And not only has to be that, that's also a sink there. So he still has to find 2 other boats. Where Chris also is in a position where he's found 3 boats. So even though the hits and everything are still skewed in Shen's favor, it's not as big of a lead as you might think.
Yep, still could be anybody's game. This is gonna get spicy. I still want to see Whirl Islands though.
You're not gonna see it. You still want to experience World Islands.
Yeah. I wonder if either of them have it semi-memorized just to kind of get through it. I have doubts.
I mean, I personally will... I always get Flash anyways, just because I like the information in the early game. So, of fighting those extra trainers, so I just use Flash, to be honest.
I don't even touch Flash. I should probably look.
So Chris is actually now encountering the shiny Seadra. Gonna give him that plus sign around the Seadra, giving him access to the Scyther. So he's gonna know where that boat is. I don't know if it actually narrows it down to being a 2 boat. Like we know it's a 2 boat, but I don't know if he has that much information. At this point, we'll see when it transitions over. No, so all he knows about the Scyther now is that it's a vertical ship. But that's really all the information he has.
Looks like that hit on the shiny actually blew away my connection again.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if he knows. I don't think he knows enough to figure out that, but he now has access to 4 ships.
Right.
I mean, so this is, man, this is getting interesting.
And that one ship remaining is that one ship that he's almost completely surrounded over there in the, on the left side of the screen. So this will be interesting. Like, I know if I'm a player and I'm looking at this screen, I'm thinking, you know, maybe there's a ship over, you know, where that Persian is over on the right side, or maybe at the bottom of the screen. Like, I'm looking at that left side and I'm not seeing a place for the ship. Like, you know, as a player without the same information we have here. So, you know, hopefully he doesn't tunnel vision too much away from that area.
Definitely. See, very curious on if any of these like encounter slots are going to be really nice for Chrism or not.
So, like, looks like Chris is opting to actually damage and catch this Weedle naturally. This Weedle is going to give him potentially 3 shots on targets. Oh, he ended up just resetting it away.
Huh. I'm a little surprised. Because that's
Yeah,
really good information.
Yeah, just like 2 extra levels and can get both Beedrill and Kakuna, but I haven't looked. Maybe he's already caught those, actually.
I can't tell. Hard to see from here.
Yeah. Alright, so now that Chris has done the Lake of Rage stuff, he now has access to all the same parts of the map that Shen does. Shen has a bit of a head start in that he has more information regarding all of the areas in Canto, but Chris also has all that information for Johto. So it does look like Chris is going to start making his way toward Ice Path at least. Ice Path, another area. I think there's 5 different floors, maybe more. No water at least, so you only have to worry about land encounters, but there definitely is some potential for some really good encounter slots there.
Yeah, not looking too bad. Comes that horsey line again.
Yeah.
This is so ridiculous with horsey, Seadra, Kingdra. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, and
So
I feel like I've seen a lot of like legendary birds as well. Like I feel like I've seen Lugia a few times, Zapdos, Moltres, Articuno.
Yeah, Articuno especially. It's ridiculous. Has Shen caught any of those birds as well? I see he has Zapdos. I don't know if he has Articuno.
I don't think so. But it actually, speaking of birds, looks like Murkrow is a hit. And then Chris just found the Magnemite.
Ooh.
So Chris now knows where all 5 boats are. Shen knows where 4 are, but has 2 of them sunk. So this is still anybody's game.
Oh, yeah, this got really spicy really quickly.
Wow. So now Chris is definitely in a better position because he knows he'll look at this and go Dragonair. Okay, Dragonair is actually next to Dragonite, so catching this makes sense. But if he encounters, let's say, like a Blissey is nowhere near any of the other boats, so he knows he can skip it. He doesn't have to waste the time throwing the Master Ball and resetting anymore. So this has really changed his particular game plan. Shen is still looking for that last boat. And I don't remember off the top of my head what that last boat was for Chris's, and we're not looking at it right now. Oh, it's that Farfetch'd over in the corner. That's right.
Yeah.
So Shen still has the whole tracker open to him. He sees a Sandshrew, he has to catch it. He sees a Vileplume, he has to catch it because it could always be a boat. He does have a little bit of a nice thing to it where he knows that the 2 ship and 1 of the 3 ships is already gone. Actually, both of the 3 ships are already gone. Because he knows that Seal over in the corner has to be a 3. So he potentially could like narrow down a bunch of things to say, Kabutops down to Mankey on Shen's side can't be a ship because there's not enough room for 4 Pokemon there. So he can start narrowing things out that way, but it requires a lot more thought than it does on Shen's side, or on Chris's side. So it's not quite as good of a position to be in.
I'm just excited to see what this Ho-Oh is going to be. We've just been climbing up this tower. So many encounter slots.
I don't know if he just hasn't reset it or not, but Shen doesn't have the Master Ball in his menu anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know if he saved over it or if it was a mistake or intentional or anything.
He could still grab the free one as well. Right.
Oh, so Chris finding Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh doesn't actually give him a hit, but it does narrow that down, so that now has to be a 3 ship. Which is really nice information for him to have.
Ooh, that's pretty huge.
Yeah, and this is one of those things he was dexing. I think it was for Stantler. And he knows that Stantler's on this route. At least I assume it's the Stantler. And because this is one of the Johto routes that he's already been to and pretty much cleared out, he knows it pretty much has to be in the water. If it's not in the water, it's probably in the 1 or 2 encounter slots he didn't find on land. So he at least has a bit of a head start in that regard. That he's not just like blindly going to this route and hoping it's where, he sees it. Or hoping he sees it, he actually has an informed decision to make to, maybe it's in the water because I haven't checked the water yet. Looks like he's going to the grass now. Maybe he missed a couple encounter slots earlier. So that really helps him out.
Still wondering if he'll ever actually go back and grab like the Pikachu or something from the game corner as well.
Yeah, that's a very good point. He doesn't know, like that Muck. He doesn't know if it's up, down, or left and right. But this might be a position where you go, okay, the Pikachu has a decent chance to be a hit. So let me just go quickly check that because if I remember right, it was the 2nd most expensive one, which isn't too bad to just buy the coins for. Buying coins in this game is a lot faster than it is in Generation 1.
So So it looks like Shen is actually completely escaping out of Tim Tower.
Oh, interesting.
Want to see Whirl Island? I saw him going straight for the. He almost flew to Bellsprout Tower. Maybe. This looks like he's kind of scouting out for information. I think he has an idea of like what he wants to go for and how he's going to go for it. But he has been catching a lot of things in Master Ball, so he doesn't necessarily have a lot of that information that he would have before, just because of the Master Ball. We're going back to Goldenrod. I think he. Ooh.
So he's just gonna clear out another. Wait, why did he save there?
Huh.
This is interesting, to say the least.
Is he clearing out the box?
Maybe clearing out his party so that way he has access to, like, if I catch a Growlithe, I can Firestone it, kind of thing.
True. What's been over here though? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, Chris found that Stantler.
Oh boy.
So now he knows that's the 5 ship. That's also one of the Ultra Trolls. So, we mentioned a lot earlier, Ultra Trolls are Pokemon that don't evolve into anything or don't evolve from anything. And as sort of like a rule, gentleman's agreement kind of thing, you're only allowed to have 3 Ultra Trolls. So, with Chris finding that one, he knows that there's at most 2 more. I don't remember off the top of my head if he has 2 other ones marked, but they can also use that to try and narrow down what are the possible Pokemon. Shen has found 2 of the Ultra Trolls of Chris's. He's found the Murkrow as well as the Snorlax. Hasn't found the Farfetch'd yet, but once he finds the Farfetch'd, he finds that 5th boat, so it's a moot point anyways, but there's always the potential for you to like narrow things down that way. Mantine's another one that's an Ultra Troll now, so getting those out of the way is really nice.
I'm starting to think that Shen got rid of his Master Ball just to use the Level Ball, since there's these big sparkles that go around the Master Ball, so a little bit less time on the animation.
That might be the case.
It looks like Chrism's going deep into Union Cave with all these. I think there's like 3 levels, from what I remember.
Yep. And they all have water as well.
Yep.
So while the 2 racers are clearing out these locations, now might be a good time for any more donations.
We don't actually have any in at the moment. Maybe we can get some rallying support here. Let's see what everybody's favorite Pokemons are. We heard Caesar got announced earlier there. $5 donation train will help us get the closer and closer to the Super Mario 64 bonus run that we have coming up. Simply, we'll run a 16-star run. It is requiring 10,000, and we're currently at 5,231. That has been going up slowly but surely, and I've got no doubt that we can definitely make that. Let me hear what your favorite Pokemon is, especially that we're playing Pokemon Crystal here. I know I'm definitely a Sandslash fan, and there's no surprise why that is. You can probably see where the similarities are going there.
Any Wobbuffet lovers?
Wabba, wabba.
Come on, you gotta love the lipstick on the girl.
I know. That is one of the best like gender differences.
So good.
My favorite Pokemon's actually not in Generation 2, but my favorite one that's in these games is Arcanine.
Arcanine's a good choice. Really powerful doggo.
Oh yeah.
Like Chrism is going in on these final encounter slots here on Union Cave.
Yep. And you'll notice on Shen's side of the screen, he's actually starting to mark Pokemon, even Pokemon he hasn't caught. It's because he's starting to narrow down, like, these Pokemon can't be one. And you'll even see, like, it looks like he unmarked it, but he did mark a couple Pokemon in blue because he knows that they have to be picked. Like, he knows at this stage that because the Murkrow is on a boat, Ammonite and Piloswine have to be as well. He doesn't know about Pupitar versus Marill, But he does know that those two have to be because he knows where the 2 ship is and 2 of the 3 ships. So all he has left is 4 and 5. So he knows that that has to be one of those 2. He still is missing that boat over by the Farfetch'd in the corner, but I mean, looking at Chris's side of the screen, Chris already found Farfetch'd and Drowsy, so we at least know that those 2 are obtainable somewhere. He just has to go actually find them.
Did you ever actually catch the Ho-Oh?
I don't think he made it all the way up there. I think he escape roped out before he got to the top.
Unfortunate. Super
Yeah.
curious what that would have been. Guess he's going into the forest now. Should be actually pretty good information for him.
So Chris finding Lugia. Lugia was a potential catch because it's right near that muck, but it didn't end up panning out. So Chris now has a bit more information on exactly what direction that goes. It also kind of eliminates things like Kakuna, Houndoom at the top. So sometimes, especially in this position of the game, like you never want to be in this position early on, but late, once you found all the boats, finding a miss sometimes is more information than finding a hit because you can eliminate, like he just eliminated 3 Pokemon with 1 catch. Where if he had got the Mareep catch, that doesn't tell him anything. That tells him the direction and maybe it eliminates Murkrow, but he still doesn't know if it goes further up or if it goes further down.
The Chrism is narrowing down on that Politoed target.
Politoed's not an actual hit, but this gives him, again, a ton of information because if Politoed isn't a hit, which it's not going to be, he knows that Quillfish is the only ship there, or the only hit there, and he knows every other ship has to be at least 3 long.
Oh, and it looks like Shen just
Down the field.
knocked down another ship. This is getting really spicy. I love late games like this.
Yeah, it's such a cool, like, you never know who's ahead because Shen has more ships sunk, probably has more hits overall, but Chris knows where all 5 boats are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
It
not
looks
really...
like Chris has a plan too.
Yeah. It's not really cut and dry who's actually in the lead.
I think this is one place that Shen actually did skip was the encounter slots in the water here in Olivine.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think he blitzed straight into Canto. I don't think he actually checked the water slots here.
Curious if this will be part of his downfall as well. Getting unlucky with these Weedles though.
I know. Wheels got to be the comment in that water.
Definitely. And it looks like he's just giving up on it too.
Yeah, I think he was just checking slots there, hoping he found something. He wasn't actually like looking for something specific there, just on his way to Canto.
I think previously chat was denied the SS title music, so you guys can enjoy it now.
Very cool. I'm gonna unmute it myself. Oh, right as he's getting into a battle, so I didn't even get to hear it.
Oh, that's so lame.
All right, so Shen doing a little bit of dexing for some more information. It looks like he did get that Pupitar right there below the Murkrow. He knows that like early on, if he was in this position, he might not know if that's 2 boats versus 1, because there's technically room for a 3 and a 2. But he knows that has to be at least a 4, so he does know Ammonite and Piloswine have to be in. Doesn't know if Meryl or Sandshrew do, but he at least knows those middle 2, so he can use that to his advantage. That's really the only information he has at this point, actually, is those 2 Pokemon.
Oh man, it's getting way too close.
I know.
So it looks like Shen found his piece of grass he's going to be going for. Curious if anything good is in here, though. I don't actually think anybody's been here yet.
No, Shen hasn't been here yet, and then Chris is just making his way to Canto now, so.
And there's Nidoqueen is not one. Is that? Could that have been one?
I think it could have been. Maybe he already caught it and forgot to mark it.
It's in the far right. Yeah, he hasn't marked that yet.
Interesting. Okay.
Hmm.
I mean, we know it's not one, so it's not going to cause an issue, but...
Yeah, it's kind of curious on the thought process there.
To answer a quick question that I just saw, Shen hasn't actually caught like 163 Pokemon at this point. He's just marking Pokemon that he knows cannot be one based on the other ships that have been found. He knows that any place that isn't at least 4 wide or tall can't be a catch. So he can just quickly mark those out. Like, he can get rid of that. Or actually, I guess he couldn't get rid of that Houndour. I don't know why he marked it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
He's inching closer towards that Farfetch, though. Hopefully he doesn't
know.
actually mark it off. He's probably heading south towards those water encounters. Yep. Or maybe the Snorlax. Oh, no. Maybe not. Oh, the Super Rod. There we go. Do the Super Rods give different encounter slots than the Surf ones?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Old Rod gives 3 encounter slots. Good Rod gives 4, and Super Rod also gives 4. There are... So the rods are, like, connected from route to route. Like, some routes share the fishing encounter slots, but it's, like... It's kind of complicated to figure out, like, which one is actually connected to which other one.
Looks like Shen got the Murkrow. Doesn't seem very happy about that one. Chrism's inching that much closer, too.
Do we know if he's here for a specific Pokemon or if he's just clearing encounter slots? I don't remember.
Shen?
No, Chris, sorry.
I think he's just clearing out encounter slots as he makes his way towards the coveted Quillfish. There's that Espeon too. I'm wondering if he if they blurted something in chat and maybe he remembers possibly what one of the encounter slots were blurted out. No clue though. Yeah, he's definitely just clearing out a lot of these for sure now. Maybe? Okay. I think it definitely might have one in mind here, though. It's going based off of, yeah, he's really wanting that Politoed here.
Okay. That does give him quite a bit of information. Like we mentioned, the Politoed isn't going to be a hit because the ship is just Quillfish and Scyther. But the Politoed gives him the information to tell him Politoed, Scyther... Or not Politoed. Quillfish Scyther is a 2-boat. So he knows every other boat has to be at least 3 long. And that might help him, like that Pikachu, for example, that's sitting there in the game corner. Maybe he's not going for it right now because there's a decent chance that boat's a 2-boat. But if he knows it's at least 3, now he knows that Pikachu's a lot more likely to be on there.
Mm-hmm. It's getting a little interesting. I know Shen going off to grab the EXP share. He might be training up a Pokemon potentially. And going into a gym. Okay.
Oh, he's giving Jinx. So that's actually really smart. He's giving EXP share to Smoochum. Smoochum evolves into Jinx, I think at level 30. And Jinx, if you look on when he switches back to his shots on Chris, Jinx is in the middle of a 5 tall empty spot. So if he gets the middle of that, he knows that everything above it and everything below it can't be on a ship. So he'll eliminate 5 Pokemon by finding that Jinx.
Really, really, really good information.
And then, yeah, so Chris found the Politoed, knows that has to be a 2 ship now. So now he knows things like Murkrow can't be on there, because Murkrow would only be possible as a 2 ship with the Muck. He knows that the Magnemite goes all the way up to Jinx. He knows that the Dragonite has to go up and down. He just got a ton of information from that, actually. Holy crap.
Yeah. This is really wild. Oh, man. I'm wondering if he'll get more information soon on some of the other boats as well. He's definitely narrowing it down pretty well.
Yeah, the other thing, so even though Shen is sort of like, barking up a dead end here with evolving into Jinx and it not being a hit, but he's also gaining a bunch of information from these trainers that he might normally otherwise skip.
Ooh. Looks like he's going really for the Pikachu.
Oh, he's doing it. Awesome.
Oh, he barely is short, I think.
Is it 800? Oh, it's 800.
Yeah.
Go sell something, Chris.
Oh, he just realized it.
Oh, man.
So close.
Going to the PC, is he going to try to sell a Pokemon or? Oh, okay.
Oh,
so
he needs a slot, but wait, does he not realize that he's short?
No, he just
okay.
went to the mark too. Yeah. So one of the little quirks in this game, every gift Pokemon, including the Game Corner pokes, require an empty spot in your party. If you don't have an empty spot in your party, you can't actually get them. So he was just depositing really quick to make sure he had the party space.
He's definitely grabbing that Pikachu.
And that he'll learn that that's a hit. So that's really good. So now he knows Oddish has to be in, which he already knew actually. And yeah, that's definitely a good position for him to be in.
I'm pretty sure he knows that that's a 3 ship. Or wait, it could still be a 4 ship in his mind, I'm pretty sure. Because he doesn't quite have the information on the others as of yet.
Yeah, he knows that ship on the left has to be a 3 ship, and he knows the ship at the bottom has to be a 5. But he doesn't know about the other 3 and 4, like which way they are. So
I think he might be going for a little bit of information, or he's trying to raise a Pokemon? I'm curious.
Jump kick from a Machamp. Ow.
Oh. Luckily, he's extremely overleveled, though.
See what he's dexing for now. Looks like he has a Smoochum, so he might be doing the same thing Shen's doing. But for him, it's actually going to pay off because he'll get that Jinx hit, which will be really nice. But yeah, I think now's probably a good time for any donations or announcements.
Again, no donations in at the moment. Hopefully we'll be getting some in soon. Just again, letting you all know we are ESA Summer Online 2020 and we're raising money for Alzheimer's Fonden. They are a Swedish national fundraising organization that are focusing on Alzheimer's disease and other dementia-related diseases. 100% of your donations will be going towards them. Their aim and purpose is to increase fundraising to the benefit of scientific research to find a cure for Alzheimer's. They also enable training for caregivers on the subject of dementia, as well as organizing projects, camps, and events for youngsters affected in different ways due to parents or other relatives who have been diagnosed with the disease. Also, we do have a few prizes as well from our sponsors. ViewSonic are sponsoring this event, and they have donated a ViewSonic Elite XG270 QG monitor. It is a $30 minimum donation there. If you donate now, between now and the end of the marathon, you will be entered in for a chance to win that monitor. And Kaspersky have generously donated a Nintendo Switch. That is a $50 minimum donation. Please do keep your donations coming in. We'll try and get them read out on stream for you. And don't forget, we do still have our final incentive. That is the Super Mario 64 16 star. We're currently at $5,231 out of 10,000. It may seem like a long way off, but I bet we can push ourselves up to 5,500 before the end of this race. And it's a close race. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very close race. And one thing I actually realized while I was watching Shen mark things off. So he's marking things off because they're playing in a way that they not only are like only allowed to have 3 Ultra Trolls, they're also forced to have 3 Ultra Trolls. So that does actually give him some information. If there's an open spot that doesn't have one of those Pokemon that can't evolve or be evolved into, then that can't be a spot with a boat, because he knows where Snorlax is. He has the Murkrow, and none of the other boats that he has, found have one of those Pokemon on it. So he knows the Pokemon that he's just marked in blue are the remaining Ultra Troll boats. So that's why he was marking off some Pokemon that were seemingly random and incorrect. He was marking them off because of that restriction.
It looks like Shen is finally evolving his Jinx.
And learns that it is not one, but that's really good information for him, because now he knows that all 5 of those on the side there were not possible.
Looks like he's trying to get a little bit of information on yet another Ultra Troll. Just kind of narrowing them down slowly but surely. I'm curious, did he actually get any information, though, on the Farfetch?
I don't think he has that information, no.
That's unfortunate.
He might have information on, like, the Gloom or the... Well, actually, the Gloom wouldn't help him, because I think the Farfetch is the bottom of the boat, but... Like, maybe the Cubone he might have information on, but I don't think he has information on the Farfetch itself.
You got immediate Pseudo-Wudo as well, so this will be an easy bit of information.
Chris throwing up the miss sign. Let everyone know.
So what did he see his next target?
I don't think I saw it. But one thing to keep in mind that I always forget about, they do have a free shot that they can take.
True.
At any point. It's a bit early for him to just take a free shot, but that is always in their back pocket. So even if he never finds that Farfetch'd information, like he's not going to be walled out of finishing the race. He would still be able to take that free shot, and he's going to gain more free shots in a little bit over an hour. So things will get interesting. Chris continuing to level up his Smoochum here. He hasn't gone to Tin Tower yet, so he's able to use some of these higher level battles to do some of that grinding. And then he's going to make his way up the tower. Maybe we'll get to see the Ho-Oh at the top.
Hopefully. Did he grab the EXP share? Or
Yes.
Smoochum?
Yep.
So he's going to have that information really, really soon?
Hopefully, yeah. It's already at level 18. It has to get up to 30, but it's on a good start.
It looks like Shen got a ton of information on 2 crisscrossing ultras.
Oh, good.
This is very much narrowing it down. This is getting super spicy. But unfortunately, with all of the catches with the Master Ball, I don't know if he has good enough information here. Did he miss out on any here?
I don't think so. Wait, what was it that... Because this is the route that we were talking about earlier, that Chris was on and had a Pokemon that Shen needed, but I forget what the Pokemon was.
I do not remember either, actually. Oh, was it? It wasn't Murkrow, was it?
Oh, it actually might have been. You're probably right.
He's getting a little unlucky with these encounter slots right now.
Yeah, definitely. So, just to remind everyone what you guys are watching, since anybody who may have joined in the last few minutes might be confused, this is Crystal Randomizer Battleships. So, think of Battleships, the board game. You place your boats, you take shots at each other. First one to sink all the other boats wins. Instead of playing like a normal board game, we're playing on a Crystal Randomizer where the two runners are catching Pokemon to take shots. So if you look at the boards, every Pokemon that's marked in blue is a boat. Well, primarily marked in blue is a boat. Every Pokemon that is marked in red was a hit. Black is a miss, or otherwise ruled out. And then purple is going to be a sunk ship. So if you look over on Shenanigan's side, he does have 3 boats sunk, but he's found a fourth boat, but is still missing the 5th one. Chris doesn't have any boats sunk yet, but he does have information on all 5 boats. So still a very close race, even if it looks a little one-sided. It's definitely not as one-sided as it looks.
Definitely not. And another thing, just to kind of note, Shen actually has not caught that many Pokemon. He just has enough information to rule out basically the entire board at this point, besides like a couple here and there. So just coming down to a little bit of mind games and a little bit of luck as he goes through a lot of these encounter slots.
Yeah, every Pokemon is available somewhere in the wild. However, they do have to find them still. They have to, if they've seen them on a trainer, for example, they'll be able to use the Pokedex to indicate where it is. Oh, Shen finding a Mew. So Mew's
That's
actually
big.
really nice because that eliminates a decent chunk of the area around them. Because Mew is one of the Ultra Trolls, and with it not being a hit, he's able to mark out 4 or 5 Pokemon there.
I think he's getting pretty close to that Articuno as well. I'm pretty sure it's in this piece of water over here.
Yeah, it was either this water or in the port, I think.
And he has not gotten the port yet. I don't think it's in the port, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, another thing to note about the level ball, by the way, it basically acts exactly like a Master Ball. You can kind of just like throw it at a lower level Pokemon, as long as you have a higher level one, and it just kind of gets in.
Yeah, that's the side effect of the increased catch rate.
And no big sparkle animation either.
Very true.
Looks like he's going for Caterpie strats here. Concentrating on the rare candy.
To evolve it, yeah, into Metapod. Metapod isn't an Ultra Troll, obviously, but it would eliminate that little section.
He's definitely narrowing in really, really close.
Yeah, just a couple of places it can be. Yeah,
Curious to see if he has anything around it, though.
Right. It looks like, just looking at the decks as he's scrolling through it, he doesn't have information on Gloom, Hitmonchan. I definitely didn't see Farfetch. I don't think I saw Drowsy. So, like, that boat is going to stay pretty well hidden until he just happens upon something.
This is going back up Tin Tower. I think we might see the Ho-Oh. I really want to see Whirl Islands, though. Like, we're getting close on the Whirl Island.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few areas, like they haven't done Ice Path. Ice Path is one that has quite a few encounter slots. I think we saw Chris go to Union Cave, but I don't think Shen has. What else is there? Dark Cave has a few encounter slots. So there are areas, if they really don't want to go to Whirl Islands, there are still a few areas they can go to. But who knows? We might see it really soon. Chris is almost at the top of Tin Tower, it looks like.
A race for Ho-Oh at this point. Surprised Shen is not going for a repel. I don't know if he had one or not, but he's basically seen all the encounters up here.
He might have done something like encountered 6 of the 7 or 5 of the 7, so he's not going to sit and look on each floor necessarily. I say as he saves and Sweet Sense. But just like check a couple encounters real quick on your way up, because you've already done this area for the most part. The odds of you finding something new are pretty low, so but they are still greater than 0, so it's worth not repelling in that regard.
Mm-hmm. Looks like Shen's getting a little lost in Tin Tower.
I don't blame him.
This place is ridiculous. You have to just jump across all these gaps, and then right towards the end, you just have to go across these teleporters, and it's just everywhere. It's awful. Oh, Pikachu. Oh wait, that's a Chrism one.
Yeah.
What's left in this tower that he could possibly get besides Ho-Oh?
Well, we did see him escape rope out. He might have escape roped out on floor 6 or something. There's 9 floors, so it's always possible he did most of the floors, but not everything.
True. I had another Kingdra.
The Horsey family just coming in strong this time. Their main was the Kingdra. The Seadra was the shiny, and helped them both actually. So
very true. It's actually so wild. Oh, here comes the Ho-Oh.
Yep. See what it is.
Sunflora.
Wait, so the Suicune was a Sunkern and the Ho-Oh was a Sunflora. That's pretty funny.
That's wild. That's really wild.
Oh, there's the Executor that we were talking about way at the beginning.
So close, too. Dang. Curious if Chrism obviously revealed it, but I'm curious. Was that? I don't think it's on the list, is it? No. I can't think of anything he could possibly catch up here though. So far, from what I've seen, he's running out of encounter slots.
I know. So now looks like Chris is resorting to gaining information, and while he's gaining information, he's going to be leveling up that Smoochum still. I honestly forgot it was still in his party.
So we'll get that information on Jinx very, very soon. But does he know where Larvitar is?
I don't think I've seen any of that family. I don't think I've seen Larvitar, Pupitar, or... Oh, it's Shen caught a Pupitar, so...
Yeah, I've seen Pupitar a few times. So all you would have to do is breed that, but I don't know. I don't think Chrism has the information.
I don't think so.
You might see that breed finally, because he did deposit that Ditto way, way back. Oh, nice freeze.
Yeah. Jolteon's always a pain to go up against in a rando, just because it's so fast. And this one seems pretty trolly, where it has a move that can freeze, it has Rock Slide that can flinch, so... I mean, it's not like it's a super important fight, but... still can be annoying.
Yeah, it's wasting a lot of time here, mostly.
Smooch him up to level 22.
28, right? On the Jinx?
I think it's 30?
30. Wow, that's a big level gap.
Yeah, and as it levels up, it's going to start gaining less experience, so...
Looks like he's grabbing a Chikorita just to evolve it into a Bayleaf. Give a huge amount of information.
Yeah, that it doesn't completely eliminate Articuno as a possibility for that last Ultra Troll, but it does eliminate that Beedrill over there. Which is always nice. I feel like I've seen Haunter like 20 times in this race.
Yeah, it just kind of roams around that one encounter slot at Vermilion. Thing's ridiculous.
But while the two races are just sort of clearing out encounter slots, it might be a good time for any announcements or donations.
We do. We got a $20 donation from Anonymous, and we've also got a $5 donation from Jetka, both with no messages there. Thank you very much for your donations. And we also have a $30 donation from Sasley saying, "Nice even, guys. I hope ESA will get a bit more popular since a lot of effort seems to be put into it for a good cause. I'm donating this to the Super Mario 64 randomizer, so hopefully the incentive will be met before the event ends." And just a quick update to that, we are currently sitting at $5,286 for that incentive. Needs 10,000 in total, but we're getting ever so closer to that one. Please do keep your donations coming in. They are greatly appreciated.
Looks like they're just going through the rounds right now. Not really finding too much, unfortunately.
Yeah, I feel like it's like, even though I feel like Chris is in a better position because he's seen, you know, all of the boats, I feel like he hasn't really made any progress in the last like maybe 10-15 minutes. He's just, you know, clearing out areas, which I guess is some form of progress, but hasn't really caught anything new.
Yeah, it's kind of getting a little stuck here. He really needs that Jinx.
Yeah, it's also pretty crazy that he just hasn't seen any new information on any of the other things he needs. Like, he still needs that Quillfish. I forget where Shen found his. Actually, oh, wasn't it? It was over by the in-game trade on Route 14.
Yeah, somewhere around that, I think. Definitely in Canto.
Yeah, I made the comment that he wasn't, like... I know for me personally, I never go to that route, so... there's a decent chance I would completely miss it, and if that's the only place it is, that would be kind of bad.
I guess we'll see if Chrism makes his way over there. I think it looks like he is too. So this might not be like too long of a wait. Oh, like here comes that extreme speed Ursaring with a vengeance.
Forgot about that. And there's the revive. With Fire Blast. Wow, this thing is
powerhouse. I just noticed as well that they kind of like just started rolling with Kingdra as their main for the entire duration of this now.
Yeah. Not a bad choice. Wasn't one of the starters, but it was available on I think it was the fishing encounter in Union.
Nice old rod.
It's another thing. I always pick up the old rod and I never use it.
I didn't even know it was in there. Like I said, my next game is going to pop off. I'm telling you.
You want some other insider information? I didn't see either of them do it, So I don't know if they have to know just with the amount of randomizers they do. But you know, like the fights that are kind of like double battles, but there's no double battles in Gen 2. So like the first fight in Bugsy's gym, for example, you actually get different opponents depending on which one you talk to. So if you talk to the one on the left first, you get a different 2 Pokemon than if you talk to the one on the right. So what you can do is save in front of them and then check what the first person has for information. And if it doesn't give you any new information, just fight the second one instead.
Ooh, that's really
Yeah.
smart, actually.
Yeah, like usually you need any sort of information you can get going into Bugsy's gym, but if you ever start making the Canto gym rounds and have to face like the quote unquote double battle in Erica's gym, it's a good strategy to use.
Not bad at all. It looks like neither of them are getting super close at the moment, though, to anything crazy.
Yeah, I mean they're both, you know, in new areas. So it's pretty crazy that they don't have the information. So this Golbat here is interesting. Chris does need Crobat. And
Ooh.
I think he doesn't know for certain he needs Crobat, because this can go from Dragonite down to Girafarig or Dragonite up to Celebi. Both Celebi and Girafarig being one of those Ultra Trolls that doesn't evolve or evolve into anything. But either way, like he pretty likely needs Crobat. So if he doesn't have the Crobat info, he might want to catch that later on to evolve it. It is a friendship evolution, which is kind of annoying, and it might be why he didn't just catch it outright. If you're gonna catch something for a friendship evolution, you might want to go out of your way to get a friend ball first. But yeah.
Sometimes you're just not that lucky to find one, though, unfortunately. Wondering if that's the case for Chrism. I have not seen anything besides a Master Ball being thrown.
Yeah, like you can go out of your way to like make a friend ball using apricorns, but that's a commitment.
Yep.
So Chris checking the fuchsia water real quick. You know, 3 encounter slots. He found, I think, probably the one common, and now he's just making his way over to Route 15. So because he's going over this way, he might make it to 14 to find that Quillfish.
Yeah, I think we might see a sunken ship pretty soon. Hopefully. Because this is getting way crazy. I'm very surprised, though, that Shen has not actually seen anything in that big long road that actually is encasing the Farfetch.
I know.
It is in Tower, though, after all.
He knows. I'm fairly sure they both have seen Charmander, but I mean, you're not going to want to evolve a Charmander up to Charizard.
Definitely not.
I think everything else is unseen in that column.
I'm wondering if they'll use that free shot anytime soon.
Right.
I think it's a little too risky for Shen to try to pull one of those off. He just does not have like enough Pokemon as of yet.
Yeah, like it might be worth it to do it if he's able to eliminate the Articuno and the Mewtwo and knows the Farfetch'd has to be one. He might opt to use it at that point, but like one of the worst things that can happen is you use your free shot and then like the next encounter is that Pokemon you need or something like that. So you definitely don't want to do it too early.
Apparently Shen does have Charizard information. Surprised he hasn't used it. Or maybe it's in Tin Tower. He's getting very unlucky.
Yeah, honestly, that might be why he came back.
Hmm.
And I'll be honest, Chris hasn't changed from his side to the other one, so I don't even remember what he still needs.
Hard to tell, honestly. So I know he's going for the Jinx. That's the only thing I know at this point.
Yeah, the Jinx and the Larvitar there.
Mm-hmm. Well, looks like Shen's escape roping out. Or
Re-entering.
I'm curious on that decision.
Yeah, this one's definitely interesting.
Okay, so it looks like you didn't get anything on this floor, maybe?
Oh wait, Chris left. He didn't actually make it over to Route 4. I think he actually died is what happened. Never mind.
Oh.
Oh, that actually could be a huge issue if he doesn't find the Quillfish anywhere else.
He's very, very close. Oh, he's just going for trainers now. Well, okay.
Yeah, trying to gain as much info and experience as he can.
He's very committed to that Jinx here. Level 30 for Jinx, right?
It should be, yeah.
Hmm. Oh, looks like Shin got an Ariados, finally.
So he's able to eliminate that up there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We can finally get out of Tin Tower. Wonder if he's going for the, oh, never mind. I think he's going to keep on going with Tin Tower a little bit.
Like, yeah, it's one of those things, like, I think doing Tin Tower is smart. It's just, it's a weird order that he's doing it in. Like, he went all the way up twice now, and he's back in at the bottom.
Yeah. Really strange. I'd love to, like, know what's going through his head right now. Is Skarmory important?
No. Alright, so here he's looking for Charizard. Charizard's in okay places. Might be opting to go to Sprout Tower.
Still no Whirl Islands. Ugh. Looks like he's going back to Canto.
Okay. Yeah, there were a couple
Oh!
Canto locations, but...
An actual shiny from Chrism.
Wait, what? He got a
Yeah.
legit shiny.
A legit shiny. That's wild.
Oh, it doesn't help him at all.
It doesn't.
Oh.
That's insane. Wow. That is
Yeah,
full odds too.
Yeah, just
It
a
just-
reminder, everyone. The shiny, if you catch the shiny, you get like a plus sign around it. So you get not only the shiny, but the Pokemon above, below, to the left, and the right. And Doduo is just in the sea of white that he doesn't need. Oh, but he finds the Mareep. He needs this.
Oh,
This water was good.
not bad. And he straight up kills the shiny too.
Absolutely. That's what you got to do.
Massive respect. All right, so we're finally making some progress. That woke me up quite a bit.
I know.
Yeah, I think he's going for the Quillfish finally. Here we go.
Because he doesn't have the Quillfish info.
No, I
But
think he's just going
heading back
through.
in this direction, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's on the route above this, I think, right? Like to the top right?
To the top right, yeah.
Yeah. He's kind of inching a little bit.
Finds Magnemite. Already has Magnemite. That was that ship over on the left.
Magikarp been marked at all? No. I think he just knows. He's going back to battling trainers. I want to see this Quillfish so badly.
I know, because that is
the two ship.
No, that is the two ship, which is obviously nice. But he still has one more Ultra Troll after the Quillfish. Everything else would be able to be evolved or bred if necessary, but Shen making his way into Rock Tunnel. I think this is where he decks to the Charizard to be. Finds a Piloswine, which he needs, so that's good.
Ooh. Not a bad find at all. And Rock Tunnel has a lot of encounter slots too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's 2 floors, so it's got 14 encounter slots, which is really nice.
Not too bad. Now, does he have Flash, though? I don't think he does.
Finds a Snubble there. He doesn't need that, but Chris does.
Ooh.
So obviously Shen doesn't know where that 5th boat is. If he's finding Charizard here, then he'll obviously learn. But judging by the amount of Pokemon left to catch, Shen is currently up. He has 6 Pokemon remaining to catch, and Chris has 7, but is evolving that Jinx. So that might be... the gap might close pretty soon.
I'm just here in the Quillfish waiting room. Oh.
I know. While we wait for that, it might be a good time for some more donations.
We've got some here for you. We got a $30 donation from Bash Attack saying, "Greetings from Wisconsin. I'm hoping for an exciting ending. Thanks for an awesome race, Shen and Chris. Go, Pack, go." And we also got a massive $100 donation from Anonymous. And both those donations were put towards the 16-star bonus run by Simply. That is currently now sitting at 5,416 out of 10,000. I would like to see it hit 5,500 by the end of this run. So we only need another $84 there, if my math is correct. Hopefully it is there. But thank you, both of you, for those massive donations there. And yeah, this race is definitely heating up now. We'll see how this goes.
So while the donations were being read, it looks like we got Farfetch'd from Shen.
Yeah, that's huge. That confirms he knows now where all 5 boats are. He doesn't know if the one on the top is a 5 and the one underneath is a 4, or vice versa, but he definitely, with one Pokemon, really closed the gap there. I think it's safe to say Shen is currently in the lead now. Oh, but then Chris finds the Quillfish.
Oh. There's that 2-boat. Finally getting a 2-boat. And that is his first sync as well.
Yeah, he's been ahead in terms of like number of shots taken for the longest time, and to have his first sync now, when I think Shen's first sync was like maybe an hour and a half in, is pretty crazy.
Talk about a time sync.
Ah. And then Shen finding the Mewtwo there, which was the last remaining Ultra Troll that it could have been. So,
oh man, I wonder.
Yeah,
go
ahead. I was just gonna say, if he didn't know it was Farfetch'd before, he would now. So,
absolutely. Just wonder like how many. I wonder if he'll. Like, I'm curious if either Whirl Islands or what else is there? I want to see Whirl Islands really badly, but I wonder if he'll have to like progress somewhere, just because like maybe something's at like Mount Silver. That would be really devastating.
Yeah, definitely. Shen finding Charizard here. Even doing Whirl Islands is kind of a bit of a nuisance because you have to fight Price in order to be able to use Whirlpool outside of battle. And also, if you want to do the entirety of Whirl Islands, it also requires that Waterfall HM. So you have to go through Ice Path to pick up Waterfall, beat Claire to have access to use Waterfall outside of battle. So going there is not only a pain on its own, but it's a huge commitment time-wise. So
We'll just have to see if he gets lucky with encounters here, though. I got a few more slots left, and they'll probably move on.
yeah, Shen only having 4 Pokemon left to catch with the Cubone, Drowsy, Meryl, and Ammonite. Does still have the free shot remaining, so he really only has to catch 3, and then if this goes for another 35 minutes, he'll have another free shot. And then 15 minutes after that, another one, another free shot. So the maximum amount of time this can take is 4 hours at this point because he has enough free shots for everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's really in Chris's court to do some catching up. Chris still needs 6 Pokemon, Jinx being one of them, which he's currently sitting on like a level 28, I want to say, level 27 Smoochum, so very close.
I'm actually kind of curious why he didn't like search out for maybe like a higher level Smoochum area.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. I think it was like level 5 to 10 or something like that when he started leveling it up. So
like we're traveling into the ruins of Alph too. How do encounter slots work in ruins of Alph? Is it I would assume it's not all the letters into one encounter slot, right?
No, so I believe there's 10 total encounter slots in the dungeon part of Ruins of Alph, and then there is a grass section that requires you to access it from Union Cave. It's kind of a weird way to access it. So that grass slot has the same amount of stuff.
So Staryu here, he has already caught this, but he's actually, I think, going to evolve it for a little bit of information on one of the bigger boats.
Okay. Oh, yeah, because I think Starmie is the end of one of the boats. I don't think it's an actual hit. I think the boat goes from Snubble to Stantler instead of Spearow to Starmie. But he'll at least gain the information that he has to get Snubble instead.
Yeah, exactly. Been pretty tight on this information. We have a little hope on Whirl Islands. Ooh, so he didn't actually opt to save in front of the twins. I'm wondering if he's aware of the trick that you mentioned earlier.
Sure, I assume he would be, but maybe not.
Might have slipped his mind, potentially.
Yeah, he definitely seems like he's pretty focused right now, so it could just be, in go mode, trying to grind out these last couple pokes.
And information is very much key. Definitely looking to kind of pull this off very slowly. I'm just curious how much grass is left in this world that has not been scavenged yet. There's that quillfish.
Oh, yeah. Looks like it was in a different spot, too.
Yeah, wow. That could have been happened super early, too.
Yeah,
wild.
Actually, that would have... Yeah.
This one I saw in a Zoomer. Oh, there's the Drowsy. Ooh, that's big.
Oh my god. So, like we mentioned, because of those free shots, he has access to be able to complete the race now at the 345 mark without catching any other Pokemon. Every extra catch Shen gets inches that closer because of those free shots. He does have to make a 50-50 choice. He'd be able to do like Cubone first and then Ammonite after that. But because at that point he would know which one's the 4 and which one's the 5, but he'd still have to choose between the Marill and the Sandshrew. So he does still want to keep looking. He's not won it yet, but he's definitely looking like he's in a better position.
And if he gets the Marill, he could evolve it too for even more information.
I think the Drowsy was a roamer, now that I think about it, because the encounters he was getting there were level 5, and the Drowsy was 40. So I'm almost positive that was the roamer, not just a random encounter. That's crazy.
That's really wild. How many more places can he search, though? I'm thinking, like, he's getting, like, towards, I would say, the caves, mostly.
Yeah,
so...
I think the big areas Shen has left are things like, I don't think he did Burned Tower. I don't think he's done Sprout. Union Cave. We saw Chris do, but I don't think Shen did. So, oh, Chris has Celebi information.
Ooh.
And it's in Fuchsia City, which is only water. So he knows for a fact it has to be in that little pond. Might be where he's going.
I think I remember he actually left this a little early before.
Yeah, he got one quick encounter and then bounced, but now he knows for a fact that he... Actually, I don't even know if he has this narrowed down to being Celebi. He's just doing it for information, so it's gonna pay out, assuming he gets it pretty quick, but...
Yeah, it looks like he's getting a little Butterfree trolled, because I'm pretty sure that was like the main encounter here.
Yep. So now he's seen, with the Wigglytuff there, he's seen the 2 encounters other than the Celebi. So now it's a bit of a waiting game.
It looks like Shen missed a few on one of the first routes. Yeah.
Yeah, but with his playstyle of sort of blitzing through, he's gonna go back to some of these routes to just quickly check for encounters. But one of the nice things about blitzing through and coming back later is now he has access to Surf, so he can like fully clear out a route rather than only clearing out the grass. But while these two are searching for their respective Pokemon, it might be a good time to do a couple more donations.
Yes, thank you very much. We got a $20 donation from Robo Sparkle saying, because, come on, how could I not donate for shiny killing? Also, we can totally get this bonus running. Let's do it. We also got a $58 donation from Duda saying, Duda happy? We happy too. We very happy. And we also got a $128 donation from Strad saying, a nice round number. Great stream, great cause, and I'm enjoying the commentary. And again, thank you very much, everybody, for those donations. We are currently at $42,717 there. We are so very close to $43,000. We can definitely push our way towards that. Please keep your donations coming in. They are going to Alzheimer's Fonden, and they are a Swedish national fundraising organization who are focusing on Alzheimer's disease and other dementia-related diseases. Their aim and purpose is to increase the fundraising to benefit scientific research in order to find a cure for Alzheimer's. Thank you all for your donations.
Thank you all very much for those. Looks like Chris is still sitting here looking for that Celebi slot. There it is, actually. Perfect timing. So now he's going to know the direction of that boat. That's, I believe, the final Ultra Troll of his. So he no longer has any like big walls. He does have the Crobat, which is a bit of a hurdle. And I don't know if he has any information on, like, let's say the Larvitar or the Snubble. I think he has Oddish information. Yeah, there it is right there. So that's pretty good. Looks like Oddish isn't in too bad of a position.
Oh, he finally got Oddish information?
Yeah, I guess he's had the Oddish information. He was just working his way alphabetically through, but he finally got the Celebi, like, right just now. Took him a while.
That'll be another boat down. I think that's the 4 boat.
Yep. Yeah, the only boat remaining of his with 2 pokes is the Jinx Larvitar. So he's opting to go to Route 46 here. Route 46 is an interesting one because while the grass is accessible right here in the early game, you can see these Pokemon are like level 2. There is a water patch, but it's only accessible from the north. Like, you have to go from Blackthorn down through that route. So he finds the Oddish here, which is really lucky, but if he happened to get a little bit unlucky, and the Oddish was in the water instead.
There it is.
Yeah, it really wouldn't have been accessible to him. So that's another boat down. 4 pokes to 4, actually.
It's getting wild.
And
literally,
he basically has the Jinx because he has the Smoochum at such a high level. So, oh, this is really close.
Come down to like a lucky encounter slot at this point. I think Shen needs one more to really kind of nail it in. Pretty sure.
Yeah, they both have their free shot left. They'll gain 1 at 330. Shen evolving the Starmie, not getting anything out of it. Like, it could have been a hit. But now he knows he has to find a Snubble. I'm not sure if he has that information. I don't think he does. Smoochum's at level 29, so he only needs 1 more level on that. And that'll put him at a Pokemon advantage. He'll have 3 boats left to sink instead of only 2 like Shen does, but Shen has 4 pokes left, and Chris would only have 3.
Yeah, it looks like Shen's getting a little desperate on information. He's going after a lot of these random trainers he skipped on early on.
Yeah, it's also worth noting with the free shots that they're going to get at certain times. They do have the ability to tie. If they both gain a free shot and get their last Pokemon at, like, let's say 330, then they would actually tie, which is pretty funny. Pretty rare, but can always happen. What Chris is doing here is actually, he's going to do a clock reset. I think he's going to attempt to make a friend ball using the Apricorns and Kurt. So what he was doing there is checking his trainer ID. There's resources online to figure out what the little code is you need to insert in order to do a clock reset. It depends on the amount of money you have, the trainer ID, and some other stuff like that. So plugging all that information in, you have to do a specific button input, like press, which is what he was trying to do and almost deleted his save file. That would have been bad.
Can you imagine? It looks like Ken's going through Union Cave encounters. I don't think any Pokemon that he's looking for are in here, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, not that we've seen. Like, he might happen upon something, but I don't think we saw anything that he needs here.
I think I saw a Gloom somewhere around here, though. Maybe. I could be wrong.
Oh, right. Chris does. So Chris has caught both Gloom, Meryl, Ammonite, not Cubone, though. So we at least know that 3 of the 4 are not in Mount Silver.
Has he fought this guy? Looks like Chrism might he going into the cave?
He's going down here
Oh,
to like this little
Suicune.
berry thing.
Oh, Barry.
Um,
Oh, okay. This makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, so what he did was he set his clock to like 11:57. I think what I'm not entirely sure. I've done this exactly once. But I think he is going to give the green apricorn to Kurt, and then Kurt makes him come back the next day. And by setting his clock to like 11:50 something, then he knows that like in 3 minutes it's going to be the next day, and he'll be able to get the friend ball. I think that's what's going to happen here.
That's really smart.
Yeah, so that friend ball is going to help him get the Crobat. Looks like Shen just found an Omastar, which is nice. If he wants to do some breeding. Did find it on a trainer, so he does have to dex it and catch it, but if he needs that, then that's really nice. So Chris doing a little bit of quick spot checking while he lets the clock roll over. He's gonna check the time. It's only 11:58, so he has to come back.
Let's even fight the trainer there, actually.
I know.
Good information.
It's good information, and he still needs that one level on Smoochum. I don't know if he has a rare candy or not.
He's gonna opt to skip him, I guess.
Chris, it hasn't been 2 minutes yet. He's just biking around.
He's getting a little friendship through the bike.
Funny. Right, now it's probably been the 2 minutes.
Sounds about right. Well, I didn't even know that old man could actually walk that far.
All right, so now
Kingdra.
He's gonna rare candy the Kingdra by mistake. I think he was trying to rare candy the Smoochum.
There we go.
So there's the Jinx, not a sync, but does hinge him closer. So now he needs to go get this friend ball, catch a Golbat, evolve it to Crobat, and then he'll have just 2 pokes remaining. Snubble and Larvitar.
I guess we'll see if Shen decides that he wants to do a little bit of breeding.
Yeah, the 3 pokes he needs left, Cubone, Marill, and Omanyte, are all 3 he could get from breeding, but breeding is slow enough you usually don't even want to do it once. Doing it 3 times would be crazy, so... although I guess he wouldn't have to because of the free shots.
What's going for? Golbat here?
Yeah, Golbat.
Oh, there. Wow, instant. Easy.
Getting a low-level one is really nice with the friendship evolutions, so... He does have to be a little bit more careful because, like, normally you'd be able to just throw Pokeballs at it, but because he needs to use the friend ball specifically, because this is a friendship evolution, he does not want it to fail. So he's going to damage it quite a bit first.
Should be an easy catch.
There it is.
Yep.
All right, so Chris has the Golbat finally. Gonna evolve that. I think one of the things you can do, I think he's going to, once he withdraws this, is you can give the Pokemon a haircut as well, which will boost the friendship. Which is a really nice strategy you can do.
I wish they made it a haircut instead of a massage.
I know.
It shouldn't take too long either, since it's super low level. It'll get like really fast levels, pretty hopefully quick.
Yeah,
Friendship.
exactly. Another thing you can do, I think, which is why he's going up here, you can pump like vitamins into your Pokemon to increase their friendship as well. So he's going to be doing pretty much anything he can to boost that friendship and make it so he doesn't have to level it up too much. Because yeah, once Chris gets the Crobat, he'll have 2 Pokemon remaining, 1 free shot, but he'll gain another free shot at the 3 hour and 30-minute mark. So once he has Crobat, the race is over at 3:30, no matter what. Might be over sooner, but at least then.
Definitely say.
So here's the haircut for your Golbat.
Do they have different levels of massage in this? Or haircut?
I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if there was. Alright, so my guess is Chris is gonna go fight a couple more trainers, try to get some natural levels. Because he might just evolve based on the friend ball bonus plus the
Oh, egg.
yeah, must be his odd egg. It is a Pichu. Doesn't help anybody. And then Shen just found a Sandshrew, which isn't a hit, but does tell him that the boat goes up. If it's a 5, it goes up to Meryl. So Shen no longer has to make that 50-50 call if it comes down to free shots.
It's gonna be interesting. Looks like Chrism's going straight in on some more information on these trainers.
It's pretty crazy how back and forth this race was. Like, Chris had all the shots at the beginning, but I mean, Shen from the first Pokemon he got was ahead in like the amount of hits he had. And then it sort of traded places again once Shen got like really far ahead, was finding all the boats. Chris found the 5th boat before Shen did, so Shen was sort of in, you know, panic finding things mode. And then even as soon as like, you know, 5 or 6 shots ago, we all thought Shen was in the lead, and then Chris just came back out of nowhere.
This is absolutely wild. I think this might be the closest Yeet Yachts match I've ever seen. I mean, battle boat.
Battle boats, yeah.
Still no solid information, unfortunately, either.
Yeah, definitely. But while they're doing sort of this like last little bit of grinding, might be a good time to get one of the last donation reads of this run at least.
Well, we are sitting with a $10 donation from Anonymous, and as with the rest of the bids, it is going towards that Super Mario 64 16-star run. We are slowly getting our way up there. Again, right now, quick update on that one. We are sitting at $5,624.93 out of a total of 10,000. Still got a number of games coming up after the Pokemon run here. We do jump into the Mario block. We've got Super Mario Logic by Big John, Super Mario Sunburn by Samurai Man, and then, of course, the Super Mario 64 70-star randomizer itself. So you're looking at just very close to about 3 hours left to try and reach that incentive there for the bonus 16-star run. I have no doubt that we can definitely push forward, raise money for Alzheimer's Fonden, and get that incentive met.
Getting close.
Golbat is now evolving, so
Oh,
Chris officially done in 12 minutes. Assuming he doesn't find anything, like happen upon any new information, which is really nice. Very nice position for him to be in. I mean, some well-timed random encounters can definitely help Shen out, but it's looking like he needs that extra little bit of information.
mm-hmm. Is that Aberrant an encounter?
I think he's fighting a trainer.
Oh, I'm thinking information for Cubone because they look the same on the chart.
Oh. Yeah, the chart gets a little bit small, but
And my dream of Whirl Island is just coming to a close.
I know it's not going to happen.
Only hope. And they got to be desperate enough to get there. Come on, come on.
I know.
Like they'll probably grab Flash before they go to Whirl Island.
Yeah, no kidding. I think I saw during the donation read that Chris actually came up, like, found an Ammonite, not Shen.
Ooh.
So yeah, that would have been huge if Shen had found that instead.
Absolutely.
The other thing that makes it kind of hard right now for Shen is he's technically looking for 5 Pokemon. He doesn't know if Azumarill, Gloom, or Meryl are the picks. So it could be like a roller coaster of emotions for him if he like encounters an Azumarill and calls it out and then it's not a hit. So it does sort of put him at a disadvantage like that.
Very true. Very true.
And then yeah, for Chris's side, if he finds either a Larvitar or a Snubbull, then it's all over because he can just use his free shot on the other one.
Yep. Don't remember where any of these encounters were though. It's been a little bit.
Yeah, it's also hard to watch both sides at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, actually retain the information.
I've had to like look back and forth so many times. Still no information from any of these trainers either. Unfortunate.
So Chris is more or less just trying to fill as much time as he can. Try not to, you know, if Shen finds something, he wants to find something too. So he's just, but he doesn't really have a purpose. He's just more or less doing random things, hoping Shen doesn't find anything. Not a bad strategy.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, fresh route finally. I don't think there's anything crazy over here though. I wonder if he's heading back into Tin Tower. Oh, no?
Looks like he's just checking random water spots. Water spots aren't too bad because, like, there's not very many encounters. So if you get 2 different ones, you may not have found, like, all 3, but you know you've found the majority of the area, so you can just move to the next one. So, I mean, he's even opting to just do 1 encounter in that water. Just a quick encounter. Do I need it? Nope. All right, I'm going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, he knows he's strapped on time for sure.
Yeah, the race is over in 7 minutes, no matter what. So he only has 7 minutes to find. Even 1 more Pokemon helps him. coming down to the wire.
Massive countdown.
So something also that's kind of fun, if you didn't notice, is the water that Chris was just in. Technically, there's water on 24 and 25, and the border between them is that top two tiles of water. So you can actually hit both 24 and 25 water, like one tile away from each other like that.
That's actually wild.
You don't
Oh,
have to go all
there
way
goes
in
the
middle.
gloom.
Oh, man.
The taunt. Ooh. Barely missing that.
Yep. Oh, and there's the drowsy
And
too.
a drowsy. That's disgusting.
Oh my god. I'm trying to think, does Chris have any sort of guesswork with his? He knows
Wow,
Larvitar
and
has-
Crobat.
Wow.
Wow, this grass
Wow.
is filled with them. That's insane.
Chris doesn't
So
have any
much
guesswork,
effort.
because the Larvitar's between two of his shots, and then the Snubble has to be it because the Starmie wasn't. Okay.
Mhm.
Just making sure we're not like looking at a 50-50 at the 330 mark.
Come on, Whirl Islands.
Dude, how
He's
crazy would it be
right there.
if they tied?
This would be insane. Got 5 minutes though left. Be anyone's game. There's another Crobat.
Oh man. Wait, where's Shen? Why did he find a Crobat too?
It's like right above Olivine.
Oh, Chris did this area. I remember watching him do it.
It looks like a just a regular encounter too.
Yeah.
Unlucky. Articuno as well. So many encounters that they were just looking for so long. This is
I know.
wild. There's a couple routes left that he can go into. He's going into Ice Cave too now.
Yeah, some quick access to some areas. There's also, if you didn't know, there's grass in the middle of this route. Sort of hidden, but
Oh wow.
can definitely be a place where there's some good pokes. Another horsey.
I love that horsey line. Oh wait, I think isn't Azumarill in this water?
Was it?
I could have sworn Azumarill was around here.
Oh, maybe.
This could be wild. I don't think that's a hit though.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. It's it goes from Charizard down to Farfetch, so the Gloom and the Azumarill don't actually help. There's the Jinx.
And nothing of value at all so far.
No. As
We
much as I
got
wouldn't
3
wanna,
minutes left.
yeah, and as much as I wouldn't want to be in Shen's shoes right now, like scrambling to find something, being in Chris's shoes is also kind of scary because like you're in the lead. If just nothing happens for 3 minutes, then you win. But I mean, anything can happen.
Hmm. Absolutely right. I'm just wondering if there's gonna be like any lead of information coming up on some of these trainers. I have so many doubts, but it could happen.
Yeah, Shen might be doing something like maybe 2 encounters and then move to the next floor of Ice Path kind of thing. This is wild.
Oh boy. And there's enough time for a few more sweet scents.
At least sweet sending in this game is pretty quick.
Yep.
That's always something.
Less than 2 minutes on the clock.
I don't even know if I would be doing this puzzle. I think I would just sit next to a hole,
Yeah,
get a couple of encounters, then drop down the hole and get a couple more.
that's probably a smart choice. I think he wants to solve the puzzle though. Oh man, 1 minute. Looks like he might have enough time to like get 2 sweet cents. This might be the last possible encounter slot.
Oh my god. Get this encounter, jump down the ladder. One more.
Yep.
Come on. Chris with another
I was
king
getting
dress.
trolled. Wow, that's ridiculous.
All right, this is probably the last encounter on Shen's side.
Here we
14
go.
cuts.
You got
Oh, the wrong
Kabuto, not the wrong fossil. Oh no.
You can see
That
his face.
and that
That
is
is
GG.
So Chris, yeah, this is time actually. So Chris will win, taking a free shot there on Larvitar and a free shot on Snubbull, sinking both the 3 and the 5 ship.
Mm-hmm.
So very close race, right down to the end.
Absolutely insane.
Well done to both of them though. That was very entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Absolutely
we're
wild
getting-
game.
I think we're gonna get Chris and Shen into this call though. Let's see if that's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, I caught it in Cyanwood.
Hello.
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 That was close. I just
That
had
was
to
so
find
wild.
one of them.
Finished 330 with the free shots. Shen had a decent chance to tie the race though.
Yeah.
Dude, Shen, the Kabuto right at the end.
That made me so mad, dude. I can't believe it. If that was Omnite, I had a 66% chance to tie.
Yep.
Oh, use your free shots, Shen.
Oh yeah, I would have. Well, okay. There's a couple ways to do this. Obviously, I would be shooting Cubone no matter what. Don't tell me if that sinks yet, though.
What? Well, would you shoot that first?
I mean, I would shoot. I mean, Cubone and Omnite were my 2 shots.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And I'm guessing it's Meryl, right? Because Cubone sinks, right?
Cubone sinks.
Okay, it was Meryl. I had the right read. Okay.
Yeah, it was Meryl.
I saw the Mareep, and I was like, should I just shiny hunt this for the absurd hype if I found a shiny Mareep to tie it? I thought about it for like a split second.
I found the useless shiny Doduo in
That was
Celadon City.
hilarious.
Dude, for like 5 minutes, I was weighing. I was like, should I go for the Roamer Drowsy? I was like, if I go for the Roamer Drowsy, it's like almost a guaranteed hit. Or it was a guaranteed hit at the time. I was like, I should probably just go for the Roamer. And I found the Roamer full odds. Just immediately after I was like trying
Absolutely
to
wild.
figure that
That
out.
was amazing.
Mm-hmm. Good
Something
job, guys.
level 40.
That was a good race. It was very close.
Yeah, I would have finished guaranteed at 345 once I got another free shot.
Yeah.
I was looking for any of my information for a pretty long time. Meryl marked in blue. Can't get it. The last Pokemon.
Yeah, GG. Was there any questions you guys had about our like play or something?
No, I think we pretty much figured things out. One thing I didn't notice. So Shen was marking off pokes that weren't possible anymore, and you kept marking off pokes that I didn't think made sense to mark off. But then I realized it was because you were like accounting for the 3 Ultra Trolls. And
Yeah,
stuff,
Ultra
so-
Trolls.
Mm-hmm. I
was-
had crazy information at one point because I sunk his both 3s and his 2, so I knew it was a 4 and a 5 that were left. And after I hit Murkrow, I knew that he had to have his last ship touching an Ultra Troll. So I was sitting there like, okay, there's no way that a 5 ship can get to like an Ultra Troll from like this Pokemon and so on.
He was
So I got
strategizing
Marcus
so
on.
much.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was pretty great to watch. It was very back and forth. There was like Chris was taking. You had like 60 shots at the beginning, and Shen had like 11. And then Shen went all out, found a bunch of boats, but didn't find that fifth one. And then you ended up just like finding all 5 of them really quick. So
Yeah,
it was
Chris
back
found the
and forth
fifth
the entire
so
time.
quickly.
Yeah.
What was cool though was like neither of us got trolled looking for a boat, because even though like he beat me to the boats, I was able to like eliminate a lot of information just off of what I had. So it was definitely faster that he found the 5th boat, but like I got it down to like 8 different spots that it could have been pretty quick.
Yep.
There were like 8 Pokemon left, I think, at that point, and I just started looking things up. I'm so mad I spent like 15 minutes looking for that Tyrogue, and it wasn't even part of the ship. I was so sure Hitmonchan was gonna hit.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, that was a good race.
And the shiny Gyarados hit for both of us.
That was insane. Yeah.
Absolutely
two-
wild.
2 hits for Shen, 1 hit for me.
Yeah,
It was
okay.
funny.
Yeah,
Go
because
ahead.
I thought it was gonna be the shiny bomb. Because the last time we did like a marathon setting or whatever, we did the shiny bomb where it hits everything around it. And when I saw it, I was like, "That's gonna hit sink my 2 ship, and I have an Ultra Troll on my 2 ship because it would have hit Quillfish, Scyther, and sunk." But then I realized, oh wait, we're only doing a plus sign this time.
Yeah.
So it worked out really well for me.
Yeah, you should have seen your expression when you saw the Seadra come across the screen. You were
I-
like,
I-
"Oh no!"
I thought
I gotta watch that.
I thought my 2 ship was gone. I thought he like got a free Ultra Troll. I thought I was just gonna get Quillfish out of it. But like, since it was just Scyther, it wasn't that bad. That was crazy. I hit your 2 ship like 10 minutes into the race and didn't know until like
super
so
early.
late. Yeah,
we were
I thought that
hyping up the Quillfish like crazy over here.
Yeah,
No Whirl Islands though.
yeah. Luckily, no Whirl. Well, we may have had to if we didn't have the free shots. That's kind of why we have them. Snubble was available. I don't remember where I found it, but neither of us saw Larvitar the whole time.
Yeah, no Larvitar.
I don't even remember where I saw Snubble. It was, I think it was level 12. It was pretty early in the game, I think. I avoided it. Did not catch it.
Was it in the contest? Buck catching contest?
I don't think so.
I feel like I've seen one too, but I just don't remember. Anyway, that was really fun. I hope it was an enjoyable experience to watch too. I'll have to like watch back. Chat reactions are always fun to look at.
Absolutely.
If you guys at ESA enjoyed that race, Shen and I have done Battleships many, many times. We also do other memes like Guess Who, Pokemon Randomizer, and just catch 'em all kinds of meme randomizer ideas. So if you like that, please follow us on Twitch.
I people
there's,
want
like-
Monopoly.
Monopoly. We're thinking about doing chess soon.
Chess in the works.
And if you want to watch more of our races, we have about 300 of them on my YouTube channel. They're all edited nice together, so you can see both game feeds.
Solid plug. Well done, Chris. Very good.
Yeah, I mean, no problem. Right? Easy.
I can't even add to that.
That's it. Do you have anything to say?
GG's, bud. Was
GG.
good. I'll have to hold this L for probably years now.
All right. And with that, we are going to switch over to intermission here. We're going to get ourselves set up for the Super Mario blocks coming up. We're opening it with Super Mario Logic by Big John. And I'm going to be handing over the hosting role to Paulister. So we will catch you all after this break.